make your introduction.
Welcome everybody, episode 9, Stairway to Cinema, with my co-host here, Almond Starrick.
What's up?
Yeah, he's a little drunk. He's tipsy.
No, not yet.
Not yet. We'll see how it goes.
Just talking about the movies I bought. So Casino Royale, I heard it's actually the best one of the new ones. So
it's my favorite. Yeah, my personal favorite. Skyfall, close second.
Yeah, I've only seen Spectre, and that was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I would say Spectre would be the third, and the least would maybe Quantum of Solace. It's not.
Yeah, I think almost everybody would agree on that. At least that's what I heard.
Yeah, because I feel like with those movies they have a knockout and then a mediocre knockout and then a mediocre. So I know that the new one coming is. I feel like it's going to be really good.
Okay, we can talk about the trailer in a minute. I bought Insomnia by Chris Nolan.
Oh,
that's going to be interesting. Even though Hilary Swank is in it, you know.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what you think of that one. Yeah,
I heard that from friends, people told me it's pretty good. And I mean, Chris Nolan, that's something.
I feel like it's a good movie, but it left me indifferent. Like it's one of those. I've seen it twice, and I remember enjoying it more the second time. But I might want to watch that one again, actually. So,
No, we could do a show about that, maybe.
Insomnia.
We're doing a lot of Netflix stuff lately,
Yeah.
Maybe we could go for something older. I bought Revolutionary Road.
Ooh.
DiCaprio and I think Michael Shannon is in it.
Yeah, Michael Shannon. Sam Mendes directed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good movie.
The reviews for 1917 are pretty good.
It was one of those movies. It's one of those movies that you probably not. I don't want to. I'm not spoiling anything, but it's like a one and done. But it's still a good movie.
Yeah, I saw some scenes from it. And DiCaprio seems to act pretty well in it, but that's expected from him. So, I bought Mulholland Drive by David Lynch.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Okay, then.
Yeah, it's like that's a good luck one there for me.
Yeah, I have no idea what it's about. I'll probably it's probably gonna be like Lost Highway. I'll be totally confused, but that's fine.
I remember I liked it more than Lost Highway.
I think from the David Lynch ones, it's my father's favorite. So
it's the one with Naomi Watts,
right? So far, what I've seen from Lynch, Blue Velvet is easily my favorite.
Yes.
But I really want to see Wild at Heart.
I like Wild at Heart. I like Firewalk with Me. The Twin Peaks tie-in there.
I can't watch that yet because I haven't seen the whole show.
Yeah, it's all very weird.
I mean, that's
Twin Peaks is really out there. Yeah,
it is. Huh?
Okay. Especially when you get to the second season. Second season really goes off the rails a bit.
Yeah, my brother told me that. So,
yes, the first season I feel like is brilliant. So
yeah, it was pretty good. I feel like it's become a staple that we talk about Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yes. Yeah.
I bought The Master.
Yeah.
And I got those movies today, so I had no time to watch them yet.
Okay.
But I might see The Master tomorrow.
Yeah, we've talked about our Paul Thomas Anderson show that we might be doing, so maybe we could move that up. I don't know about next week, but maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
because I could watch Inherent Vice and Phantom Thread this week because those are really the only two I haven't seen.
I'm actually tempted to watch Phantom Thread again. It's on Prime, and every time I look at it, I'm like, I can watch that again because when I saw it, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but maybe a second time will help. Because now I know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. I bought Frost Nixon with Michael Sheen and Frank Langella.
Great acting, but for me, I remember it was just kind of like good film, but it wasn't like special to me. Because I feel like Nixon, at least from my point of view, Nixon's been done to fucking death.
Also, for me, Frank Langella, he doesn't look like Nixon, I think so.
No, but he does deliver a good performance. He does.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, but Michael Sheen really is fantastic.
Yeah, he's the reason I bought it actually because he's not in enough movies, and this seems to be his big one.
Does a lot of TV too. It seems like.
Oh yeah, that's true. He was in
Place.
Good Omens.
Yeah.
I also bought What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Ooh, one of my grandma's, my aunt's favorite movies right there.
Dude, I'm always down to watch some good young Johnny Depp and DiCaprio, of
And
course.
that's good Johnny Depp too, right there.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
good
I mean,
Johnny Depp.
90s is like overall good Johnny Depp.
I would
period.
even say good Juliette Lewis, but I know that's a stretch. That's a stretch. Any movie that you say that, it's like, I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe. You know.
You know that I'm not a fan, so.
I'm not really a fan either, but I feel like she has some good performances. But she was just, even at that time when she was so popular, she was just kind of hard to take. She really was.
And the last movie I bought is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh, thank God.
And I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that to me,
Gotta see
I
it.
say that is the revival. Like without Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, I don't think it would have led to Tony Stark. Maybe, I mean, that might be a bit of a stretch, but I feel like that was the revival of Robert Downey Jr. coming back to Hollywood. So
I mean, it was before Iron Man and Sherlock Holmes, so it might actually have led to that.
yeah. It's
Also with Tropic Thunder.
Shane Black as well, which he's turned in some bad goes, but he's got some really good dialogue. Really good dialogue when he wants to. But yeah, Predator was so bad, dude. Predator was terrible.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and also I'm curious to see Val Kilmer because
I stand by
later
it.
more
I
on
stand
that.
by Yeah.
Because I watched a Val Kilmer movie. Okay, I've got some news which are mostly just trailer stuff.
I got 3 pieces of news for me, so.
What about the Black Widow trailer? Have you seen that?
I have, yeah.
I think like it starts off pretty well. Like I like the stuff with the actress from Midsummer. Oh, thanks for the host.
Oh, nice.
And I like Rachel Weisz and David Harbour, of course. But in the end, it's going apeshit. It's like a little too much. The action,
a little too much fun for you, or
no, I think they should go with a more grounded movie instead of just like the end of the trailer just looks like it's gonna be some CGI bullshit again, and
it is pretty heavy on the CGI. I'll give you that. But I feel like
actually,
I feel like all Marvel
bad.
movies are in that zone now where they have to have CGI.
Yeah, of course.
My feeling was,
look bad.
I feel like I really hope, like they did show a lot of elements of comedy in there, and I'm fine with that because I think David Harbour is good for that delivery and stuff.
He is.
And they probably need a little levity in that movie, probably, if they want to go full on like her story type shit. But I hope that we get like a Winter Soldier-esque type story with Black Widow. But I'm excited to see it, but I wasn't like floored. You know what I mean? I'm just
no, it's not causing hype for me at least.
No.
What's up, Dark Shot?
I'll definitely go see it though.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's no question about that. What about the No Time to Die trailer?
Oh,
the new Bond.
Very excited. Very excited. Especially when I see a little Rami Malek in there. I'm excited to see him as the
villain. Yeah. I think his role looks kind of interesting, actually. Like, I mean, you don't see much, but
looks a little crazy Bond. Like they're going a little crazy Bond there, but I don't know, that whole, I mean, like as soon as the music dropped in the trailer, when you hear the Bond music, you see that action, you see him fly over on that fucking bike.
Oh yeah.
Just all in.
And the Gatling guns in the car.
And I feel like this is definitely his last go, so.
For sure. I mean, Spectre was meant to be his last one.
Yeah, already. So I'm really happy that this could redeem that, because Spectre was, to me, a disappointment.
Even though it's by Sam Mendes,
Yeah, Sam Mendes plus Christoph Waltz, which I'm really happy he's coming back.
So, oh yeah, and he has like his eye is looking weird now.
A chance to redeem the Blofeld role that was kind of, I think, mishandled in Spectre.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, the last trailer is Mulan.
I did not watch that.
You don't have to. Like, at least it doesn't actually, like, I've never seen the original animated movie.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, but it looks like some generic Chinese historical epic.
Yeah, when you know for a fact there are better Chinese epics out there.
Oh yes,
At
least Donnie Yen is in it, and Jet Li, but I'm still like the trailer just I didn't care at all. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
Disney remake, so I'm not a big fan.
A friend of mine is really hyped for it because I know she was a big Mulan fan, but I don't think there was enough Mulan fans out there to. And it's a Disney movie. I'm sure it'll do gangbusters, but at the same time, it's not a movie that I'm interested in seeing.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, if the ratings are good, I might see it. Not sure yet. But yeah.
Maybe.
Last news is not really new. It's I think you probably heard about this, that Mel Gibson is making a remake of The Wild Bunch, a western, and like 3 cast members are rumored, and I'm pretty hyped about that because it's Michael Fassbender, Jamie Foxx, and Peter Dinklage. And I think that sounds pretty good because dude, Mel Gibson with an R-rated western, dude, totally.
Yeah, especially have you seen the original Wild Bunch?
No, I've not.
You might want to check that out because that's
right.
it's a Sam Peckinpah movie, and Sam Peckinpah was, for his time, like kind of violent. He was pretty violent for a director. So I don't know if the Wild Bunch still holds up to this day, but that's exciting news right there, especially if they can get the cast that they want there.
Well,
but more importantly, just having Mel Gibson attached is that's awesome. So,
Nicola just watched the first Die Hard. That's a good one.
You know, what's funny is I actually watched Die Hard this week as well. It's on my list of stuff that I watched, so that's interesting.
He said he might watch the sequels as well. The
second one is
to be kind of let down by the second one.
The second one not great. Yeah.
The third one is actually it's different, but I think it's fantastic.
I feel like the third one is right on par with the first one.
And
I think the third
fourth
one is completely underrated.
The fourth one is meh, and the fifth, well, you don't have to see the fifth one. It's pretty awful.
The fourth one is terrible because it's PG fucking 13. The fifth one is terrible because it's Jai Courtney.
Yeah, but yeah.
The Kiss of Death. The Kiss of Death, Jai Courtney.
I don't even remember the fourth one. It's more of a generic action movie from the 2000s.
It's the Russian one.
It has Mary Elizabeth Winstead, right? She's her daughter. She's his daughter, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
No, not only the first one. The first and the third one, both directed by John McTiernan. The third one is fantastic also because it's a great performance by Samuel L. Jackson.
And it's good comedy.
And Jeremy Irons. Yes, it's actually really good comedy. So.
Like giving Bruce Willis a sidekick, Samuel L. Jackson, fantastic.
I saw Die Hard 3 times in the theater because I loved it so much. So.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any news left, or?
The only news that I have is that my boy Zack Snyder posted on Instagram the other day a shell of the they keep filming. I don't know what the fuck you call that thing. The key, where you put film in that little shell,
right.
Yeah. Where it puts the label, But he showed off that a director's cut does exist. He said, yes, it does exist. So pretty amped that might actually come to fruition one day because I would rather see his vision than what we got.
Yeah, but still, I don't know. It's not.
I just know that I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone in that regard. I'm happy that a lot of other people would like to see. And also, Nicola, the second Die Hard is not terrible. It's just a complete remake of the first one. Like it's the exact same movie.
Lame.
Yes.
Like
yes.
It's been a while, but I can remember that there are passages that are just boring.
I mean, I've seen it a lot, and I can tell you that, like, when I go through my Die Hard movies, I still watch it. So.
But I think you can totally skip it and just watch the third one because you don't need any plot information from the second one.
You gotta have it. You gotta have it because You got his wife.
Always good to see the whole picture.
His wife and the reporter, in the plane. I think that's good stuff. But yeah.
All right. Should we move on?
We can disagree on Die Hard 2. That's fine.
Should we move on to the movies we've watched?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Let's see what you got.
Okay, it's a bunch. So I will not talk about everything because some of it's just kind of whatever. I rewatched Solo and Last Jedi.
No, I gotta hear about this. Tell me. What's your thoughts?
Solo actually improved. I improved my rating from a 6 to a 7 because I think Solo is a perfectly fine popcorn movie.
Solo is fun. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's super fun because actually, like, there's so much action, it never ends. It's just super fast paced, and you're just having a good time. There's nothing wrong with that movie for me. Like,
I agree.
Not everything is like, there's some stuff like the feminist robot that's kind of
I actually like the feminist robot. I love the feminist robot.
I don't know. I think it's kind of annoying and out of place, but the movie, it doesn't bother me actually because the movie's just a whole lot of fun, and I think people are giving it way too much shit.
Yeah, I feel like it's become irrelevant now at this point, which kind of sucks because it was a good entry into the Star Wars universe. So.
It is better than Last Jedi.
I would have to agree with you on that statement. I hate to agree with you. Yeah, but
Last Jedi wasn't bad either.
No, Last Jedi is not bad, especially because I've said it before. I love the throne room scene.
True.
I love all of the Rey Kylo stuff. There's a lot that I like about that movie, but I didn't like anything about Luke Skywalker. The pacing is bad. I mean, I'm not going to say I didn't like anything about Luke Skywalker. I like his final stand or whatever. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's one of the most epic moments.
It's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I just don't like how they continue to... I would rather have a cool General Lux rather than a pussy. That really bothers me because they could have made him a Grand Moff Tarkin kind of guy, but... Instead, they've just made him the punching bag, and I think that's, I don't know, it's just too predictable there, I guess, with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad for the actor because he's good.
Yeah,
but kind of wasted.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I actually like that guy when I see him in movies. So
he's great in The Revenant, for example, or in Ex Machina.
The Revenant, Ex Machina.
About Time is a good
Harry
one.
Potter, he's just fantastic.
Oh, in Harry Potter he is a minor role.
I know.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I enjoyed Last Jedi, I think, especially because, to be fair, I watched it with an audio commentary by a YouTube channel I liked. So, Okay.
Did you laugh with the Leia moment? Did you?
No, I just cringed a bit.
You did cringe a bit. Like you couldn't get through it, right? It was tough.
Yeah, I was prepared. It wasn't that bad. Moving on to better movies, I watched A Beautiful Boy.
Oh, the
Steve Carell and Timothée Chalamet.
Yes.
That's a good movie. Very emotional, very authentic. Steve Carell is really good in serious movies, and I hope he's gonna continue.
He's bringing it.
And again, Timothée Chalamet, dude, he's gonna be the big one in a few years. In 5 years, everybody will know his name.
Do I dare say next DiCaprio? Do I dare say? Is it too soon or?
That's hard to judge.
Yeah.
He's a different kind of maybe I'm not sure.
There's a movie called Hot Summer Nights that I noticed he's in that I was considering watching. So
he's also in the new Woody Allen movie, which is said to be not good.
Yeah,
and Woody Allen himself says it's not good. So what can you expect?
I've learned to just skip him at this point.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So yeah, Beautiful Boys. I can recommend that. I actually cried because it's very emotional. It's a family
father
drama.
and son, right?
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I know.
And then I watched Bridge of Spies by Spielberg.
Oh yeah, we talked about that a while back about how we both hadn't seen it. Tell me.
I think we considered it like being our movie of the episode once.
We did, and that fell through.
Yeah, but it's. So my problem with Spielberg sometimes and Ridley Scott is some of their movies are technically pretty good, but kind of bland in a way, even though they're good. Like Bridge of Spies is totally fine, but I just didn't care. Like Mark Rylance is pretty good, but you don't see him enough to actually care.
Oscar-winning performance there by Mark Rylance.
It is very low key, but.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like I actually, when I watched it, I looked into the Oscars of that year, and I wanted to know who he beat.
Was it the Tom Hardy?
I think yes. Yeah. And that's pretty.
Get the fuck out of here. That's what
right. Right. Yeah. I can confirm. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the movie is fine. It's just not very exciting in a way. I don't know.
Not something you'd watch again.
No.
What about Tommy Hanks?
He's always good.
Yeah.
He's perfect for like the likable protagonist.
It's really hard to ever come down on Tom Hanks. Like just for me. Like even Forrest Gump. I'm not really a big fan of Forrest Gump, but I mean, I give credit to Tom Hanks for pulling that off. You know, he's so likable for me. He's been likable since I was a little kid.
He's likable in every movie, basically.
Yeah, very hard. Yeah.
Okay. Then I watched a movie which, I was in the theater to rewatch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for the 7th time. And it was still a blast, and I laughed my ass off. So, did you watch it?
Do you want to get into this now?
Okay. In a minute. I rewatched Harry Potter and the Prison of Azkaban, the 3rd one, which is my favorite.
Yes, I agree with you there. Best one.
Dude, like, I noticed I was so impressed in how little screen time Gary Oldman, like, he is fantastic in that role. Only, like, even if you only see him for a few minutes. But dude, he goes from totally crazy and intimidating to super sympathetic. And dude, great role. David Thewlis as Lupin, my favorite character of the series. It's a great fucking movie.
I agree with you. It's the one that changed the whole tone of the series.
True,
too,
yeah.
In terms of the theatrical releases.
I mean, they chose a very talented director, Alfonso Cuarón, who also made Children of Men. So I feel like the 3rd Harry Potter is also the one with the best cinematography because of the director.
And they stuck with that tone after that. They didn't go back to that Christopher Columbus feel.
Which is good. Because like the tone gets darker and darker, and it's kind of like as the characters grow older, it gets more mature, which is good. Actually, I like the series overall. I can talk about this now. I also watched the 4th one.
Okay.
Which I don't like that much, actually, even
It's
though it has
Goblet of
Robert
Fire?
Pattinson. Yeah,
Goblet
it
of
has
Fire?
Robert Pattinson and David Tennant, which is actually fantastic, but they're both only briefly in the film.
That was actually the first one I saw in the theater, and I don't know. I actually like Goblet of Fire because I've heard other people don't like Goblet of Fire as much.
I think it's one of the weaker ones, but it's not bad. Like, none of the movies are bad. Actually, I actually like the 1st and 2nd one because they're good children's movies, you know?
For
They're
children,
good for what... Yeah, but...
It's a great example if you watch them all together of... they knew their audience, so they knew they had to make it more mature as it went. So it was smart. It was actually smart.
But what I liked about the 4th one is... dude, honestly, Ralph Fiennes as Voldemort is so fantastic.
Is that the first time you actually see him?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's when he gets resurrected on the graveyard, and dude, that's some epic bullshit. So yeah, like I still enjoyed the movie, but as a big fan of the book, I listened to the audiobook of the 4th one so many times, and the movie in comparison just does some wrong decisions which subplot.
The Jim Dale audiobooks.
No, German audiobooks.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, that was okay. Then I watched 2 documentaries, one about Genesis, my favorite band, and then one about Peter Gabriel, former singer of Genesis and my favorite singer. Like, yeah, it's documentaries. Not
The
much
Lamb
to talk
Lies
about.
Down in Broadway. That's underrated.
One of the best albums ever made.
Underrated album right there. Not a lot of people
Dude,
talk
I'm
about that album.
surprised that you know that one, honestly.
Oh, I know that album. To me, that album, if you listen to that album, you can almost hear almost like a Tool or a Pink Floyd type feel. At least for me, that
it is the same genre, almost. Like, it's progressive rock.
Progressive, yeah.
Have you heard the other Peter Gabriel Genesis albums?
I don't think so. I think it was a while back, like 10 years ago, when I first stumbled upon that album.
Yeah, Lamb Lies Down is probably the most ambitious and complex one. So, yeah. After he left, which is like in '75, the music of Genesis got different because Phil Collins became the singer.
Very different.
And I don't know. I don't really listen to that music. You know,
there's some gems in there, but it's not.
There are, yeah. But
it's not a band I'm going to be cranking on a daily basis.
For me, it's just that Peter Gabriel's voice, for me, is like the best voice I ever heard. So
yeah, because I feel like Phil Collins has a good voice, but it's not a voice that I want to hear all the time. So
yeah, true. I can agree on that.
I totally get that. Yeah.
So the documentaries, like the first one about Genesis overall, for the most part, it was only briefly about the Peter Gabriel period because that's just the beginning, and then they They also talked about the later stuff with Collins and the more pop music stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was interesting, but dude, like it's not very like very brilliant documentaries such as Free Solo or Senna,
Or like The
Yeah,
Last
but
Waltz from Martin Scorsese about the band.
oh, that's about Pink Floyd, right?
No, it's about the
No,
band.
but didn't he do a Pink Floyd movie?
I don't know. He did a
No.
Rolling Stones Shine a Light. I know he did that. He did.
Yeah.
He's done a few. It just popped in my head because I know we were going to talk about Irishman. So when you brought up musical documentaries, that's one of those things that people forget that Scorsese's done a few of.
All right. So yeah,
but I do like a good musical documentary.
Yeah, but they're just regular documentaries. It's just, interviews and they tell you about the stuff. It's not very ambiguous or anything. It's just tell their story, that's it. So as a fan, that was nice, but
was it made from Johnny 126 on YouTube? Is that
right? Okay. A movie that's made by Johnny 126, The Snowman. Because that's fucking horrible.
Oh, The Snowman. What was this again?
It's a thriller with Michael Fassbender, Rebecca Ferguson, Val Kilmer,
right.
and who else is in it? I don't know.
Right.
That movie. Oh, J.K. Simmons is in it. That movie is abysmal.
I remember the preview to this, and I remember laughing because it just looks stupid to me.
It is stupid. Not only is it like the whole premise is kind of stupid and it's boring as fuck, and like you don't care about any character at all.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, you get the most stupid twist I ever saw. No, I mean that's a stretch, but it's about who murdered all those people, and like when they reveal who the murderer is, it's so stupid. It makes no sense at all. So
got a pretty decent cast too. Completely wasted.
Yeah, right.
For
it's
this
so
movie
but
too.
Dude, Val Kilmer. There's no reason for Val Kilmer being in that movie.
He's just there.
Like his role is so irrelevant. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it looks like the people agree with you. It's rocking a 5.1 on IMDb.
Yeah.
So,
so
I can skip The Snowman then.
Totally. Don't waste your time, honestly.
All right.
I watched About a Boy with Hugh Grant, Toni Collette, Rachel Weisz.
I actually liked that. I remember I liked the first half more than the second half because I remember I liked the
me too.
Hugh Grant being a dick was like the draw.
Yeah, Nicholas Hoult is kind of annoying.
Was he the boy?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Young Nicholas Hoult.
That's wild.
And the ending was kind of like it was a good feel ending, so that got me a bit, because everything turns out to be fine, which is kind of corny, but
like I like it. I like movies that have a feel good ending, but you gotta have not too convenient, Like
I think in that one it's kind of too convenient, but sometimes I'm a sucker for that.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, that was all right. Wouldn't say it's like I wouldn't watch it again. Probably it's okay.
Yeah.
I watch better rom-coms. I watched a French movie called Amélie.
Oh yeah, back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the French classics. I think it's in the 250 of IMDb.
Chocolat and all that shit.
It is good, but it's very French. So, I then watched The Kingdom with Jamie Foxx, Jennifer Connelly, Chris Cooper.
The Saudi Arabia movie. What did you think of The Kingdom?
It is average.
Yeah.
But what makes it like I hated watching it because the camera movement is awful. Like it's always shaking in every single shot.
It was that Born Identity type.
Right, it's that era of Quantum of Solace and Born Identity. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I hate that
shit. It's not even. I wouldn't call this a style. I would just call it horrible to watch. Well, because you can't just have like dialogue scenes and the camera is going all over the place.
Well, you remember I'm a big fan of Tony Scott. Like if you look at the last half of Tony Scott's movies, they're just too much with the camera there. So
that's a Tony Scott movie?
No, it's not. I'm just saying that the camera work, like Man on Fire came into my head right there because Man on Fire kind of gives me epilepsy in a lot of scenes. So
yeah.
That era is tough. It's really tough because that's one of the things about Born Identity that kind of bothers me.
Yeah, I think they do that to make it seem more realistic and grounded, or like
tense. Yeah.
if you're actually there, or sometimes. But you can do that. You can use that stylistic device, but not in every shot of the movie.
Yes.
It's just annoying. So
Yeah.
yeah, I hated watching that, but it's like it's an okay film, I guess.
Who is
Then
the co-stars? I'm sorry. Who the girls?
Jamie Foxx, Jennifer Garner,
Yes, I remember.
Chris
that.
Cooper, Jason Bateman,
Yeah.
and there was somebody else, I think.
America's Sweetheart.
Kyle Chandler is in it.
Oh,
Briefly.
I do like Kyle Chandler.
Yeah, but he dies in the beginning, so you know.
Spoilers.
No, it's not a spoiler. It's like the whole premise of the film.
Yeah.
I watched an 80s classic and it was a blast.
Tell me.
I watched RoboCop.
Oh yeah.
And I know that one is so good.
Still holds up too.
Trashy. Yeah, but it's like the effects and just the gore in that film. Dude, I loved it.
The guy with the toxic waste all over him. I remember scarring me as a child.
That's Cronenberg level, man.
Yes, yeah. I've always liked RoboCop. Always.
Also, Ray Wise is in it, which is fun.
And he's great in it. So.
And I think Peter Weller. I haven't seen him in anything else.
He's pretty good in some movies. There's a movie called Firstborn that he's in where he plays a sadistic dad. He's really good in that. He hasn't been in too much though.
Yeah, that movie still holds up. Actually, I think it's better than Predator.
Really? RoboCop over Predator? Yeah, I would probably give you that. Yeah.
Dude, the blood effects in that movie are superb.
You feel Murphy's his shit. He's such a fucked up tale, man. Like, just wakes up as a fucking machine.
And also there's that giant robot he fights in the end.
Yeah.
I feel like that's it felt like stop motion. I think it is. That still looks really cool.
And I like Ronnie Cox too as the asshole. I love.
Is that the company guy who?
He's the company guy. He's the main guy. He was the bad guy in Total Recall as well. He just plays a good asshole that you just hate.
True. So yeah, that was pretty good. Then I watched a quite interesting German animated movie called Felidae, which is about cats. It's a cat detective thriller, and it's actually like it's from the 90s, and for an animated movie, dude, it's so brutal. It's not for children at all.
Okay.
Some cats get gutted and decapitated and stuff.
Jesus.
It's super violent. It was okay.
Okay.
Like I'm not a huge animated fan, but I think like it's one of those German classics from the 90s, and it's pretty alright.
German classics from the 90s.
I watched a Turkish movie called Mustang. You'll probably never see that, so it's not worth talking about.
You went really international these last 2
Yeah,
years.
I know. That's a good movie, but it's one of those small gems nobody will ever see. So
I thought you were gonna say it's good, but it's Turkish.
No, it's good. It's very good. But there's some okay, I want to talk about this movie. I watched one of Ridley Scott's first movies.
Okay.
The Duelists.
Oh, okay. Back in the day, Jesus.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, back in the day, like when I was younger than you. So.
Okay.
Been a while.
Do you remember anything?
Not really.
Oh, sad. Because I loved it. The cinematography in that one is amazing. It looks so good.
Harvey Keitel.
Right. And the other guy is who's that?
Keith Carradine.
Right. Dude, that movie looks gorgeous, and it's actually a pretty compelling story. So I would recommend rewatching that one.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I watched that. I remember it was one of those movies that my dad was watching, and I remember sitting down to watch it. PG. What the fuck?
Oh, it's quite bloody, actually.
Quite bloody for PG. That was before they didn't know what to do with. It's probably before PG-13 came out as well. So.
But actually, I think you'll like it because it's a good period piece.
Yeah, you know me.
Okay, then I finally saw the Korean movie Parasite. Which is set to, like, for many people, the movie of the year.
That's the one you've been excited to see.
Right. 8.6 on IMDb. And
it's pretty fucking
it got a
big.
9 out of 10 for me.
A 9?
It's really, really fucking good. I don't think there's anybody who can like dislike this. It's
Well,
just the whole package.
this
It's
is the
funny as fuck. It's super intense. It's
okay.
violent at times. It is like there's not a single boring second in the whole movie. It's super good.
Okay.
I can totally see why this is like as high rated as it is.
Well, I can say one thing. It has my
Okay.
interest because this is the man that brought me Snowpiercer.
Right.
But he fucked up on me with Okja. I thought Okja was fucking terrible. So
Oh, really?
I didn't like Okja.
Haven't seen that.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what you think of that, but I just thought it was, and I was hyped. I was really hyped to see that, but
It's the one with Jake Gyllenhaal and
I think
Steven
it's,
Yeun, right?
and I feel like it's like one of the worst Jake Gyllenhaal because it's just so over the top. He's not in it a lot. It's mainly about the little girl, but yeah.
Okay.
But Parasite though.
It's good. It's very good.
I'm just reading the synopsis real quick.
I wouldn't read that, I think.
No.
I would just go in it without knowing anything. That's probably the best approach.
Well, I am able to watch it. So you're saying
It's-
that I need to watch this movie?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like, I mean, for most people or for many people, this is the best movie of the year. I think, like, this is a movie you should have seen at least.
But not for you. You're still hanging on to Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I might like Parasite might get a 10 if I watch it more times.
Okay.
If I watch it again in the future, probably.
All subtitles?
No, I watched it in German because I was in the theater and they don't really do OV, most of the time.
So it was dubbed?
Yeah.
Oh.
And German dub is good, so didn't bother.
Yeah, I mean, dub I find I actually kind of like on foreign movies, so yeah.
Yeah, it's more convenient than reading.
I agree.
The last movie I watched, which was today, I actually rented that movie because I wanted to see this for this episode. It's a movie by Paul Thomas Anderson. I watched Hard 8.
Oh, okay. Now, what did you think of Hard 8?
It's one of the weaker ones by Anderson,
Yeah.
but it's good.
Like, you could see that
It's his debut,
like his jumping off point for sure.
Right.
But it's definitely not Boogie Nights or Magnolia
or There Will Be Blood. There Will Be Blood. It's all right. It's not a bad movie, but I felt kind of
because Philip Baker Hall, is that his name? Philip? No.
Yeah.
Philip Baker.
Yeah,
he's the main guy in it, right? Like, if I remember, or John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly has the same amount of screen time, I think, roundabout. And Samuel Jackson has a good role in it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like it's not as good as, for example, Tarantino's first movie,
Yeah.
But yeah.
But he followed it up with Boogie Nights 1 year later. It's pretty fucking good.
All right, that's all I watched. Some good stuff.
As for me, I watched quite a bit, which was odd. I rewatched quite a few movies. The Weatherman, Nicolas Cage. I still like that movie.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen The Weatherman? You should watch The Weatherman at some point. I don't think a lot of people like that movie, but I really like Nicolas Cage. I really like the Michael Caine role as his dad in that movie, which doesn't seem like a good pairing for a father and son now that I say it, but
Nicolas Cage and Michael Caine?
Yeah, it seems like an odd pair, but it works, and it's a good Gore Verbinski movie. And then I rewatched The Game, which you've already seen The Game, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, but it's been like 5 years, so
yeah,
I should rewatch that as well.
I rewatched it quite a few times back in the day. I watched it, and I feel like The Game kind of frustrates me a little bit because I love the movie, but at the same time, like, I feel like they could have went deeper for the twisted shit. Like, there's a lot of dry shit in The Game.
Really?
And it's really fucked up in a way. Like, it's a very thought-provoking movie because of the ending. They drive this guy to suicide, basically, to enlighten him, which is kind of bonkers. It's kind of bonkers. But
oh yeah, now that I think about that,
I still feel like it holds up. And I love Michael Douglas. I just fucking love Michael, especially around this time of Michael Douglas. Anyway,
yeah.
I also watched In the Company of Men with...
I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah, it's a Neil LaBute movie. He's kind of a weird guy. I think he did Your Friends and Neighbors as well. He does misogyny very well in his movies. So I naturally like assholes in movies, like Aaron Eckhart in this movie, which is one of the first Aaron Eckhart movies I ever saw with this guy. Aaron Eckhart, that is. He plays like one of the like just assholes of assholes in terms of like psychology with women. Like he's just, because the whole premise of the movie is these two guys, these Wolf of Wall Street type guys. They decide to just fuck up the life of one random woman. So it's kind of a movie that's not for everybody, but it has a really cool ending. A really cool ending.
I put it on my list. Looks good.
Yeah, it's not something you'd probably want to watch all the time. You know what I mean? It's like a one and done, I would say, but it has a good ending. It feels like a play. If Neil LaBute stuff feels like plays because he's a play guy. And then I rewatched Die Hard. I already mentioned there's not really anything to say about Die Hard other than it's still awesome. Jack Reacher. I rewatched Jack Reacher.
Why?
I like the first Jack Reacher. I haven't seen the second one. I like the first Jack Reacher.
I mean, it's not bad, but
I've always liked how violent he was. Like I love the fact that no spoilers, but he shoots the guy. Like when he's talking. I love that shit. And it's a cool role with Werner Herzog.
He's in that, right? Yeah.
He is in that. Like, it's got a pretty good cast, and it's like one of the few.
Isn't it also directed by him?
No, it's directed by Christopher McQuarrie, which is the Mission Impossible guy. So
wait, but the second one is by either.
Second one is actually Edward Zwick, which is kind of weird.
Oh, is it?
Because Edward Zwick is such a different kind of director to me. Like I feel like he's more epic, but I feel like his epic touch has slipped of late. So, because I mean that's Glory, Legends of the Fall, Last Samurai. I mean that guy.
Oh, great movies.
That guy was pretty fucking good there for a while, and then he just kind of. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen Jack Reacher 2, but I know that it's not, I don't think it's as good as the first from what I've heard.
No, it's not.
And then I watched, let me see here. I'm looking at my thing. I watched It Chapter 2, which I liked.
Kind of disappointing, right?
Yeah, I liked, but I was already disappointed anyway, because it's just not as good as the book. So
it's long.
Like I come from the literary part of it. I hate to be that guy that brings up the book, but even the original miniseries, I still think I favor the original miniseries. But that's a nostalgia scarred me as a child type thing. But I still enjoyed it because the cast I thought was really good. I really like Bill Hader.
They nailed the casting of the adults.
Yes,
they all look like the children. Basically, it's perfect.
That was killer. Like that was pretty killer how they did that. And then I watched Good Boys.
I've skipped that in cinema.
I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty fun. It was because it's rated R. It's a little raunchy, but not over the top raunchy. I would say it's kind of fun. The boys are funny. Then I watched a gem with Robert Redford called The Old Man with a Gun. The Old Man and the Gun.
Oh, the Casey Affleck one.
Yes, and that was like probably one of my favorite Casey Affleck roles too, because I really liked his character, the cop.
Dude, that looks like a movie I would like.
It was a lot of fun. It really was. Like it just, I feel like maybe, it's kind of short. Like it's only an hour.
Yeah, it's only 90 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like 2 hours would have been good because it's a good story, and I feel like they but it's very intriguing. It's very catch me if you can type of movie. And Redford is just really good. And I think that's his last starring movie from what I've heard. So
Endgame was the last one.
Right.
Technically, but yeah.
Technically, but yeah, his last starring role, I guess. But he, I've always liked Robert Redford. He's not like a huge favorite of mine, but young Robert Redford was fantastic.
Yeah. But like in the movies with Robert Redford, I always liked Paul Newman more, Yeah,
exactly. It's tough to go against Paul Newman. And then I watched a lot of shows. I watched the entire third season of Billions, which was I I still have season 4 to watch, so I'm excited. This is a show that I take in small increments because I don't want it to end because I love it so much. It's probably my favorite role with Damian Lewis by far.
Not Once Upon a Time.
No. I'm about one episode away from catching up on Watchmen, which I have to say is really becoming one of the smartest, brilliant shows out there, especially if you've read the comic book, if you have any idea what the hell that universe is all about. Because some people say it's not Watchmen. You're out of your fucking mind. Like, you need to get to the other episodes.
I watched a video on that. All the people who bash it are wrong.
They are wrong because it goes even deeper than the movie ever did because it's really more a sequel to the comic book, I feel like. But there was a little Dr. Manhattan thing in there, I think episode 5, that just fucking made me really fall in love with that show. And then I'm all caught up on The Mandalorian. Right. I'm super excited for tonight because I know it comes out on Friday. So that's become one of those shows that I just cannot wait any longer. As soon as it drops, I gotta watch it because it's fucking killer, dude. Like, that is Star Wars almost at its best.
Stop talking, please. I can't watch it.
It's true. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, and you could watch it if
I know.
Yeah.
Even friends of mine, like through VPN and stuff, they managed to watch it. But
I would highly suggest it.
And watch the whole thing in one take, I think.
I mean, that's better because now you don't have to wait. But I cannot recommend Mandalorian and Watchmen enough. Probably Mandalorian more for you. I don't think you're a big Watchmen guy, but
I watched the movie. It's okay.
Yeah, I feel like this show is smarter and probably better than the movie. The characters are fucking killer. Regina King's character is awesome, but the Tim Blake Nelson character is so good. I love that guy.
Oh, he's great. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I watched Hateful Eight, the extended edition.
Oh.
Which was my third viewing of the Hateful Eight, and I have to say, like, it's becoming more and more just better and better with each viewing because I don't know. Like, the first time I saw it, I just kind of went through the motions. It was like, that's a good movie, And the second time, I saw the brilliance. I felt the brilliance, and I loved the characters more and more. So the third time, like, every scene I was chewing up in my brain of like, this is incredible, this movie. Like, I really like Hateful Eight.
Was it the 4-hour version?
Yeah, they break it up into episodes. So it's
okay. Yeah, right.
4 episodes all about, but I got to say, I don't really know if I saw anything new.
Nah.
Honestly, like, I don't know. I was just all in on the story, so I don't really remember, but it's some of the best dialogue from Tarantino.
True. Walton Goggins in that movie, dude.
Fantastic, yeah.
And also, I like the Mexican guy. I don't know his name, Demian Bichir or something.
Yeah, but the role he played was great.
Yeah.
Everybody in that movie, even the little small Channing Tatum role, I really liked. I love the fact. Oh, yeah. I love this ongoing thing that they keep calling her Domergue. And it's Domingre the whole time, but they keep saying Domergue. And then, I just once again reminded that Samuel Jackson and Tarantino together, that is fucking magic. That character's awesome in that role.
It is, yeah.
I don't know, like the third time viewing, I just appreciate it more because the standout Tarantino Jackson role for me is the old man in Django. And then and then Jules, I think, from Pulp Fiction, but
The Big House.
Yeah, but this Mark West Calvary character from Hateful Eight is really fucking cool. So, yeah, that's a movie that I'll be watching again for sure. So
also, it has some amazing splatter effects.
Yeah.
So,
do you want to get to Hollywood now?
Of course. I need to know.
You need to know. I know. So I gotta say, I know you love this movie. So
yeah.
I will say that, there are some things that I liked, but overall, I did not like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I was gonna message you on Discord to kind of just let you know, but I kind of wanted to go over.
That makes me so sad.
I know. You know, I respect you as a film buff. I didn't even want to tell you this because I know you like this movie, and I guess I could see why you like the movie, but for me, I didn't like it. Like, I mean, I like the Brad Pitt character.
Oh, Cliff Booth.
But I feel like the movie was completely devoured of the great Tarantino dialogue.
It's not a dialogue strong movie, honestly.
That's where it really hit. The Pacino role I thought was a waste. I think
but I kind of like that each small role is played by a big actor, you know.
Yeah.
I don't have to have big screen time with Al Pacino. I just think it's cool that he's in it.
No, my problem was just that the dialogue wasn't compelling. Like, here's the thing. Like, I didn't like the Rick Dalton character. Like,
what?
Yeah, I didn't like him at all, really. I thought he came across as just a whiny little bitch the entire movie. And
dude, I think DiCaprio is so good at playing
no.
character.
I like DiCaprio, but I didn't like the Rick Dalton character. I thought it was pointless.
I think it's fantastic.
I think the movie would have been 10 times better if it was just about Cliff Booth. I don't understand why we were going to all these cuts of Rick Dalton and his movie shit.
What?
Really,
that's the best sequence in the movie.
No, I didn't like any of that. I really didn't.
What?
I know we were going to disagree on
Luke
this.
Perry scene, dude. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Again, the strong points were like, my favorite parts were honestly like the Cliff Booth scenes. Even the Bruce Lee scene. Even the Bruce Lee scene, I didn't really think that was great because I almost I hate to agree with critics, but I feel like they overdid Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was not cocky like that.
Just take it this way. Maybe it's just how Cliff remembers Bruce Lee.
Because that's fair. That's fair.
You know, maybe.
But I feel like the movie was a complete Tarantino pretentious fantasy. Like, that's really what it felt like to me. I was really upset by the ending.
What?
That it crushed me. It really did. It crushed the whole movie for me. I thought it was, I had this build up, waiting for the Sharon Tate thing to go down, and when it didn't,
she's a red herring, and
you pretty much waste Margot Robbie completely in the movie, and you completely waste Sharon Tate for that. I mean, I don't even know why they focused on Sharon Tate. It's like a complete waste of time when you put it all together. Acting is good. Like, there's nothing wrong with the acting. The acting is great in the movie, but the story, for me, it just didn't speak to me at all. I thought that was pretentious of Tarantino to go that route. And I feel like he was just living out his own little fantasy, which, if it spoke to you, that's good. And I know a lot of other people like this movie. So it was weird for me to dislike it because I've never disliked a Tarantino movie the way I dislike this movie. I honestly believe that this is his weakest movie that I've ever watched. So I hate to tell you like that, man. I hate to do it on the show, but
just crushed my soul.
I know.
How
I did.
I'm supposed to continue now.
I know. How do we continue talking? But it's just how I saw it. Like,
I need more wine.
Like, that was the perception I've had of Hollywood, and I honestly don't see any need to ever watch it again. So it bothered me on so many levels, man. There was so much in that movie that bothered me, and if he would have just had his brilliant dialogue back, and this is the reason why I watched Hateful Eight. I immediately watched Hateful Eight right after this, and it made me appreciate Tarantino when he's brilliant like that. But Hollywood, for me, just wasn't. It wasn't it. And it's a shame because, I mean, that has so much hype around that movie, and the length of the movie, the actors that are in it. I was pretty excited for it, but there was nothing compelling about it for me, unfortunately.
Okay, so our opinions are like miles away.
Miles away, and I knew that, especially because
I'm like, it's okay. I kind of it's not that I predicted it, but I'm not surprised because that movie really divides audiences.
It does, and I think I've mentioned it to you too. One of the things about Inglourious Basterds that I didn't like is the Hitler scene. So the whole changing history thing is a chip on my shoulder that doesn't seem to go away. I wish I could just. I get the whole fantasy once upon a time title. I get that, but at the same time, like the entire ending sequence when it goes completely ham.
Dude, I love that.
And here's the thing too, like
the cinema went ham as well.
I didn't find any of it funny at all. Whoa. I didn't think
Brad
the movie
Pitt on acid. Come on.
It was okay. But it could have been a little wackier on acid. I just thought. But see, that's the problem. Like you're in a scene there where I'm already irritated because I already knew the second Tex and the girl show up in his apartment. I was like, okay, he's changing it again. So automatically, like I'm already irritated at that point. Now that's a personal thing with me. I get that. But at the same time, I don't mind when Tarantino goes ham in certain scenes. Like there's some hamminess obviously in Django. There's some hamminess obviously in Hateful Eight. But the girl flaying her fucking arms, getting burned, like, or the pit bull, and then she's flaying her arms. It was just irritating. I didn't think it was funny. I just thought overall the man dropped the ball on this movie. And I think it was a complete waste for Leonardo. I hate to say it, but I would rather have seen him in another movie rather than Hollywood.
It is so strange that everything you dislike, I totally love.
Mm-hmm. Well, even my uncle, he was kind of shocked because me and my uncle, we talk movies quite a bit. He's one of my go-tos when I want to talk about movies, and he was kind of surprised I didn't like Hollywood. He thought the ending was great. He liked it. He liked everything that I didn't, and he hates the Hateful Eight. So, that's what Tarantino kind of is, though. He kind of divides audiences here and there because there's a lot of people that hate Pulp Fiction too, and I don't know. It was just a huge disappointment for me. What's up? No, we're not talking Irishman at the moment. I'm talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood crushing Amon's soul right now. He's not happy with my...
Dude, because it's my favorite fucking movie of all time.
I know, dude. I know. I just don't...
But can you understand that I love it, at least?
A little bit, but...
For me, dude, I watched it again this last week, and just the whole atmosphere, that makes it for me. Opening with Bounty Law, it's perfect.
See, it was too much. It was too much for me. I didn't care about Bounty Law. I didn't care about Rick Dalton. I didn't care about his fucking journey. I didn't care about him trying to act. It didn't speak to me on any level. And I love DiCaprio. I even love the little speech impediment thing that he does with the role. I love that. Like his acting was fantastic, but it's his character. I just didn't give a shit about Rick Dalton at all. The whole time I'm like, I'd rather focus on Cliff Booth. I thought that was almost like you should have just had a Brad Pitt movie rather than having DiCaprio even there, because DiCaprio's fucking pointless. He's kind of pointless.
If I say that I think it should win production design Oscar, what would you say?
Maybe. I mean, there's some Oscars that maybe it could snag.
Brad Pitt.
I would disagree there.
Okay.
Yeah. Only because it would take away from The Irishman, which I think one of my boys in The Irishman, I think, deserves it.
I know.
But I did like Brad Pitt's
nomination,
role.
come on.
Oh, yeah. I think he'll for sure get nominated. I'm not saying that he's not going to get nominated.
I don't think it will be... it won't win cinematography or might not even get nominated, but for me... every shot in that movie is perfect.
The shots are beautiful.
It looks all totally it's all quality stuff.
The shots are beautiful. Even the sequence with Polanski and Sharon Tate behind the car, I love that.
And the music by Deep Purple, perfect.
Yes,
I love the soundtrack of the movie.
Yeah, the soundtrack spot on.
For me, one of the best shots. It's super weird, but for me, one of the coolest shots is just when the Western show. The show within the movie begins, and Timothy Oliphant is just riding through the city. It looks so good, honestly. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the sound, the lighting, all of it. For me, it's totally... I was totally sold on everything.
I mean, the production value was there, clearly. It was the overall story that I just couldn't get behind.
Yeah, okay.
And and especially after just watching Hateful Eight the way I did, I just needed that dialogue, and I feel like that was the least Tarantino dialogue that we ever got, and the jokes for me didn't hit, like they should have. Yeah, it just didn't feel like Tarantino for me.
I think this movie is hilarious. Even the scene when he meets the director of the show, I love that.
Yeah, but I just thought even the Kurt Russell stuff was just like him and his wife. It just felt like such a forced scene that was predictable. Like I don't know, man. Like it really just it left a bad taste in my mouth. I gotta say, like, and I don't want to say hate, but I was really upset after watching it.
I definitely need more wine. Okay. I think we can move on. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I'm sorry, dude.
It's
no, it's good. We need
your criticism, but like,
right.
I just don't want to hear how you crush my favorite movie.
I know. I mean, that's why I didn't want to go too much into it. That's why I was kind of like, do you want to talk about Hollywood now? I also considered just messaging you and laying all this on you just to fucking get it out of the way, but I wanted to have the real reaction. And we have to have disagreements on this show.
Of course.
So.
It's totally fine.
But that's definitely, I think, the biggest disagreement you and I have ever had on a film. So,
Miami Vice.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. This was my way of getting back at you from Miami Vice.
Yeah, right. What about Steve McQueen?
Hang on one second. I got a question. This group of iconic guys in The Irishman is iconic, so you can see them in a current role, or are you constantly seeing them in the old character?
No, not at all. The old characters. We'll get to that in a minute, I think.
Yeah.
What
the
about
Steve McQueen thing? It was like 30 seconds. So
yeah, but he totally is McQueen, kind of. Like the way he moves and talks. I think that's.
See, here's the thing. I've watched enough Damian Lewis to just that was Damian Lewis. Like he talks exactly the same as he does in Billions. So I mean,
no, but like the way he moves, I don't know why, but like for me, this was like perfect casting, and he looks like McQueen already. So. And what about The Great Escape?
The Great Escape scene. Okay, I'll give you that. I like that. I liked that, but that was that was part of the little flashbacks for DiCaprio that were good. But I just feel like they went fucking overboard with the cutbacks and I didn't care about the little girl and all that shit. Like
that scene is amazing.
Yeah,
I love it.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
We're easy breezy. Okay, let's move on to The Irishman.
Yes.
Yeah, very long movie, Netflix movie, which is interesting. Yeah. Directed by Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
I think, but like, this is like the biggest Netflix film yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, by far. Even though Outlaw King has had a big budget, but I don't know what was the budget on Irishman. 150
I think it's
million?
170, something like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of it went into the de-aging stuff.
Yeah, and okay, go ahead.
First, did you like it?
I think you already know the answer to that. I mean,
okay, me too.
Yeah, this movie, like it right when it starts, it just feels to me Goodfellas and Casino. It just like it feels like the third part of a fucking this grand Martin Scorsese crime trilogy in a way. The only thing that I would say that is bad about the film is the CGI in a way, only because you can tell that you can tell that they're old bodies with a younger face.
Right. There's a scene where De Niro is kicking a guy and it looks like an old guy kicking a guy. It's not like, I think they maybe should have used body doubles in a way, sometimes.
I agree.
Because like, even though the CGI on their faces doesn't bother me at all, I wouldn't say it's flawless, but you don't really give a shit about it. De
Niro's, I feel like De Niro's is a little more distracting, especially with the blue eyes. The blue eyes are also because strange.
He doesn't look like De Niro looked when he was younger.
No.
Like, he's a bit more bulky,
It almost looks like old De Niro trying to be young De Niro. So it's really... Because you and I have seen a lot of De Niro movies. We know what De Niro looks like around that time. So they should have almost pulled the Vito Corleone face in a way, or Mean Street's face, something around there. But it was a little distracting. But it definitely didn't ruin it for me.
It is weird that Harvey Keitel actually looked younger than him, even though I'm not even sure they used CGI on Keitel.
I don't think they did.
Yeah, but like he is 80 and he looked younger. Kinda.
Is he really 80 years old now?
He is, or 79, I think.
Jesus. Wow.
I think the best use of CGI of he's 80 actually. Yeah. The best de-aging effect is on Al Pacino, because it's also not like Pacino looked when he was younger, and he is not very the de-aging is not that he's 30 or something. He's still 60, I think, his character. So it's
and it should be noted that the de-aging doesn't feel like it's through the whole movie either. It only feels like it's through the first 45 hour, I think, where you see a lot of the de-aging stuff. Yeah. And then they kind of just go into makeup at that point. That's what it kind of felt like to me. Because you don't really, it doesn't distract you with Pacino or Pesci. It's just it's just De Niro, really.
Yeah, but you see a lot of De Niro. Probably that's why.
I mean, De Niro's the main guy through this movie. So there's a lot of face. I think when he's in the truck, you kind of see his face for a long period of time, and it just kind of is slightly distracting. But I feel like they should have cast a younger, body double there and just plastered on the face.
I think they did in the war scene, because then I think it looked good. Right.
I forgot about that war scene. Yeah.
Like the scene where he shoots those guys in the war. He looked thinner and younger, and his face. I mean, his face. There's something about his eyes, his blue eyes.
It's
kind of throws you off.
Yeah.
But still, it doesn't look uncanny valley, which is weird.
Yeah, it runs that fine line of looking like contacts. Like they're almost too blue. They don't look naturally blue.
They look kind of weird because I never noticed that Robert De Niro has blue eyes before,
Yeah, well, he doesn't.
He doesn't?
No, that's the thing. That's why it's distracting.
Oh, okay, I see.
They made him blue because I believe Frank Sheeran has blue eyes. The real guy.
So, yeah, besides De Niro and Al Pacino and Joe Pesci, we got Harvey Keitel, who's barely in the movie, which was kind of disappointing. But
I agree. I could have used another scene of Keitel for sure.
Yeah. Because I feel like I was the only guy, or I was hyped about Keitel coming back, but everybody just talked about Pesci and Pacino and De Niro. But I like Keitel a lot.
Pesci's pretty special. He's a special.
That is true because he retired.
Yes. Yeah.
But then you also have Ray Romano, who I didn't recognize at first.
Right. Yeah.
Bobby Cannavale.
Really like him.
He looked like the guy from Bronx Tale, honestly, like Chaz Palminteri.
He's I really like that guy in movies. He played in a season of Boardwalk Empire that was brilliant when he's in there. But I didn't think he was really a standout in the movie.
No, his role wasn't that big. But speaking of Boardwalk Empire, Stephen Graham, man, that guy was fantastic.
Which one is Stephen Graham?
He played Tommy in Snatch and Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire.
Yes. I was going to bring him up with you because I know you like Snatch so much.
Dude.
He's one of the best parts about Boardwalk Empire. So I'm starting to notice this Scorsese thing with him. He's kind of getting brought into the fold. So I thought that was a great casting, and I really like that guy. Everything he's been in. So
he's in Rocketman. He's good at that.
It's funny that you brought him up because I was going to bring him up. Yeah.
He has some scenes with Pacino that are just insane. Honestly,
you got the we don't prison scene. Spoilers, but you got a prison scene, and then you got another scene that follows that coincides with the prison scene. It's top notch. Top notch.
Yeah, totally. Also, he nailed the Italian accent.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's British, it's
Yeah, I have to say that this is the best Al Pacino performance that I have seen in a very, very long time.
Oh yeah, I was going to talk about that because it's been it was a blast to see Pacino actually acting again.
Yes.
I think it's been 20 years.
It was a treat.
as much as I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, in that movie, like it's not a performance really. It's just, you know, he's like in it for 3 minutes or something. So like this is a real old school Pacino Scarface performance, for example. You know, it's like totally. It's a loud performance in comparison to Robert De Niro, who's really low key in this one. Dude, for like, I would say for me, Pacino is the strongest actor in the film, and I hope he's gonna get nominated.
I honestly feel for me that I can see 3 nominations coming out of this because I really liked the
I
De
know who
Niro
you mean,
performance as well. I could see De Niro best actor for the star there, but I would love to see Pacino and Pesci, both of them, get nominated for supporting actor. But I think Pacino kind of deserves it. Because
he does.
He was just fantastic as Jimmy Hoffa. And when I first heard that he was cast as Jimmy Hoffa, I was like, no fucking way. Like that is not going to fly. Because you know how I feel about Pacino. He can go over the top. There's a scene in the movie where I do feel like he does go over the top. But overall, like he was very reserved, you know, just back to his old fucking acting self of just intensity. Like, there's a scene where between him and De Niro, there's a scene between him and Pesci where he basically tells Pesci he ain't stopping. And I thought that was one of the best scenes in the whole goddamn movie. It was so good.
Yeah.
But just balls of steel, Jimmy Hoffa, you know?
And also, dude, a few days ago, I watched a compilation of how many times he says cocksucker. You know, it's fantastic. But also, dude, like, there is that moment in the ending, like the climax of the film, basically. And I won't spoil it, but you know what I mean. You know, when they drive to the house.
Yes,
dude, that is so. I don't know. There's no music and stuff. It's so straightforward. That hurt, kind of. You know,
and it's that really classic Scorsese feel too, where it just happens. You know, there's
right. And
there's no music cue or anything like that. It just, he turns around and
bang.
Yeah, bang, bang, motherfuckers.
Yeah. I feel like, okay, this movie is a bit too long, honestly. I think the ending is very stretched, even though I like the approach. Like, this is through the whole movie. It's, in comparison to Goodfellas and Casino, this is less flashy. There's, like, it lacks the gangster coolness of Goodfellas, you know?
It has a little bit of it, but you're right. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but there's nothing really. You're not like, I want to be like those guys, you know? Because it's all kind of, you know, it's kind of despicable what they're doing. And in the end, you really, dude, the scenes in the prison and the I don't know how it's called, where De Niro is in the end. You know, where old people are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The old folks home, basically.
Dude, that is super depressing, kind of. And I think that's something that Scorsese never did. And I feel like that's a brilliant approach to such a movie. Because it's also kind of like a mic drop for gangster movies. Same as Unforgiven is for westerns, you know.
I could see that. That's a good comparison. It's a good comparison because they don't go over the top with the gangster, you want to be like this type feel. They don't go too much into the Irish part of it either, which I thought was interesting because the movie's called The Irishman. But they do go. I do like. I mean, the parts that they give you with the mob are really good. But I could see that point of needing a little bit more Keitel.
Yes.
And any more of Pesci would have been fantastic because I really like the Pesci character.
The thing with Pesci is he plays such a different role to Goodfellas.
Yes.
Like it's not loud at all as Pacino is. It's very reserved.
Well, I was gonna say this too. Like you totally got it before me, but if you looked, I know you haven't seen Raging Bull, right? Raging Bull.
No, I've not.
But if you watch Raging Bull, if you watch Goodfellas, you watch Casino, that is just amped up fucking Pesci the whole time. And to see him in this reserved, quieter role, but still sinister, it was really cool. That was a cool fucking role for Pesci to come back to. But I have to say, I feel like Pacino did kind of steal the show here.
He did, and I did not expect that. Honestly.
I didn't either.
Also, I'm not sad, but it's, Jesse Plemons has like no screen time at all.
Yeah.
He has, I think, 2 dialogue scenes. That's it.
Fat Damon, making an
Right.
appearance here.
Also, Anna Paquin, who plays his daughter, she says like, I think, 1 sentence. That's it.
Yeah. I like the casting, but they didn't really have big
No.
parts.
Yeah, true.
Because I like that whole storyline with the daughter that they continue on, that daughter wanted nothing to do with him because of the person that he was.
Yeah, and I think that's also something new for Scorsese. Like in Goodfellas, you don't have the like people judging what they do,
Well, you don't really have
And
anything from the kid's perspective at all, because
right.
even Casino, they don't really go into kids at all, but you kind of focus in on the Penny character pretty early on because Pesci's wondering like, why doesn't she want to come say hi, and that continues on.
True. But she loves Jimmy Hoffa.
How can you not? How can you?
Yeah.
Not?
But yeah, dude, that spoiler betrayal thing, dude, that hurt. Really hurt.
It was really well done because I feel like I feel like this is what was really well done for me now that I think more about it because I saw it last week. I would have rather have watched it last night, but De Niro's character really spoke to me. This is why I think this is one of the best performances by De Niro in a long time as well, because you really felt this conflict between his line of work and what he had to do with his friend. And like I felt the camaraderie between him and Pacino. It was really, really cool to see them on screen together like that.
True
because,
that, yeah.
Because I know there's that movie called Righteous Kill where they play 2 cops. It's not a good movie. Heat, you get the one scene with them together. But this movie, you get a lot of them together on screen, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, they have good chemistry, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I think like scenes standing out is the Stephen Graham scene. At the when they negotiate kinda, and he comes with a Hawaii shirt. That's fantastic. Also, there's a scene where De Niro murders a guy in a restaurant. And it's as you said, it just happens, and it's so emotionless that it kind of is like it's shockingly authentic in a way.
The guy who's murdering, Crazy Joe Gallo, who was played by Sebastian Maniscalco. That's the comedian that I went and saw in August out here in Arizona.
Yeah, you talked about that before.
Yeah, like it wasn't a role that makes him shine or anything, but I think it's a nice little introduction for getting him into film because I love that guy. But I noticed he casted Ray Romano, he casted Sebastian Maniscalco, and he also casted controversial comedian Jim Norton as Don Rickles, which I thought was really a good fit. It's only one scene, but I paid attention with the Don Rickles scene. I was just like, oh wow, that's Jim Norton. So I like that. I like that about Scorsese, that he cast some different people for roles that you wouldn't expect, especially Ray Romano, because I liked the role that he played.
Oh yeah, and dude, like I didn't recognize him at first. I was like, is this Ray Romano? I'm not sure. He is Romano is older than I thought. He's above 60, and I thought he was like 50 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't look like himself at all, for me at least. But I think I've only seen him in like one movie, so I can't really tell. Though I gotta say, like besides De Niro, Pacino, and Pesci, and maybe Stephen Graham, there's not much acting, to like really.
It's all in the lens with this movie. I mean, for me, it was an easy 9. It was an easy 9 for me.
Okay, we're going to the ratings already. Okay. I mean, I think I said all I want to say
on The Irishman.
Yeah. Also, I also like the Kennedy stuff.
Yes.
Like I liked how they had those historical events on the side, almost like in Forrest Gump. You just see those mobsters reacting to historical, like current events and stuff. I like that.
Yeah, and that was a big time. The 60s, just a lot fucking happened during that time. So it's cool when they incorporate it, because it's like One thing about the JFK assassination is like time stood still in America, and they capture that moment perfectly in The Irishman because everybody just gets up and stops what they're doing to see what happened.
They didn't really go into the Vietnam War or Nixon or anything, which was kind of yeah, it was fine, but I kind of expected it, you know, like I don't know. But
like
still.
I was just the characters just held it together for me. It was very heavy dialogue movie, which I love the fact that it was. But De Niro's character just I really liked his character a lot. I liked all three of them. It would have been nice to say all four, but like I said, Keitel just isn't in it enough.
Yeah, when I first heard about the movie and it was like only known that De Niro, Pacino, Pesci, and Keitel were in it, I thought like Keitel's part would be as big as the others, but
more significant, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like he's only like he's not even important. It wouldn't even be needed to him, like for him being Harvey Keitel. It could have been anyone, basically. But yeah, it was like I'm always glad to see those people in movies, you know, in good movies. Because Keitel is doing some bullshit right, like.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with Keitel is he does some bad movies. He's got some,
but I think like when you're old, you don't get lots of roles. So
paying the bills, you think?
At least Keitel is still in most of the Wes Anderson movies. You know, I like that. So yeah, my rating for The Irishman is 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
It's a good movie, but like for me, honestly, it's a bit too long to really like say that I would like to watch it again.
Yeah. See, for me, I love the length of it. This is, you know, this is big Scorsese at his best for me. I think it arguably could be his best movie. I think you're going to get a best picture out of this movie as well.
It might actually win it.
Yeah, I think for sure, actually, it's going to get best picture because I think the Academy wants to, because I feel like The Departed, as much as I love The Departed, I don't know if that was the best picture for, it's hard to say that that's Scorsese's best picture, you know, like Gangs of New York, I feel like was the one, you know, even Goodfellas. But The Irishman, I think, is going to clean up pretty heavy at the Oscars this year. I can almost lock it in that Al Pacino is probably going to get this Oscar.
I kind of hope he will, even though I would like to see Brad Pitt winning an Oscar.
That's
just because he's Brad Pitt.
Hard to measure those two performances against one another.
Also, this I noticed this year is really strong with actors. It's almost impossible to tell who's going to be best leading role.
I think it'll be Joaquin.
Yeah, I'm not so sure because you have Joaquin, Willem Dafoe, or Robert Pattinson. It's not yet known who's the lead, you know. Then you have Adam Driver in Marriage Story, which I want to see tonight, actually. Christian Bale is great. Leonardo DiCaprio. There's lots of people who have a chance, you know. So I'm not so sure.
I think it's Joaquin
De Niro
Phoenix.
also.
I think it's Joaquin Phoenix basically because of the transformation. He
deserves it.
It's the transformation, the work that he did, but the fact the movie made $1 billion fucking dollars, man. Money talks when it comes to Oscars. It's just the way it is, especially when you got a dramatic performance like that has such a strong box office / cult following. And I think it's the way Joaquin handles himself too, because you know, to win an Oscar, you got to play the game.
Oh yeah,
and true. I don't think Joaquin Phoenix does anything outside of acting to warrant him not getting the nomination, like a James Franco situation.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's a lock this year, and I'd like to see De Niro get the nomination for Irishman.
I think that's certain.
The nomination for Irishman?
Yeah.
I think so too. I feel like it was his best performance since like Silver Linings. Even though Silver Linings was like a smaller part, but
but totally. Yeah, I totally agree.
Like
even though he was fine in Joy. But.
Yeah, like you just have this strong presence when he's on the camera, but it really is hard to go away from Pacino because I feel like the best scenes in the movie are opposite Al Pacino.
Dude, this is like hands down one of the best performances Pacino ever did. So
I agree.
I think like the nomination is safe, but I hope he's gonna get it actually. As much
Yeah.
as I like Cliff Booth, you know.
Yeah, I feel like and he deserves it too. It's not a just let's give him one. Like it
No,
he fucking brought it. He fucking brought it this time and it
I
was
take
just
this as a huge comeback.
yes. Like or a send off. I mean,
You're like, dude, if this was his last role and like he retired or something, perfect.
yeah. I mean everybody. Even I don't know about Scorsese. I still want to see Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh yeah, his next movie is actually gonna star De Niro and DiCaprio.
Yeah, I was thinking throughout the movie. That's the one thing this is missing is DiCaprio would have been cool in some kind of role, but you know, but it'll be nice to see both of them together. You know, on screen again since they've been together before, but in a Scorsese movie. You know, because I think this is like the only Al Pacino Scorsese movie, which seems so
It is, yeah.
fucking strange. You know, like they finally got together, and when they got together, fucking magic happened. So I watched it in one sitting and I just...
Me too, with my dad, actually.
What did your dad think of it?
He didn't like it that much.
Oh.
Like he was kind of bored, actually, and I thought that was pretty sad. I said it's a long movie and maybe too long, but I was like, my eyes were on the screen the whole time. My dad was checking his phone frequently and stuff. I think he didn't like it that much, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you're a man of acting and stuff, so I think the performances on screen commanded your attention. You know?
I think the biggest thing I took away from this movie is actually Al Pacino. Like he's the highlight for me.
It was like this quiet ferociousness. Like Al Pacino's eyes just speak volumes when they're on screen like that.
Because you didn't expect it, you know?
No, I mean, I kind of in the camp that kind of wrote the old man off, you know, because he's delivered some very over the top performances, very over the top.
Yeah. And
it's a bummer, but at the same time, to see him back in this moment of brilliance as Jimmy Hoffa. I mean, this is a movie I know I'll watch several times down the line because I love this kind of shit.
I won't watch this again this year for sure, and might not even watch it next year. But like, I could see watching this, once every few years. Yeah, totally. Like, I feel like this is in a few years, this is gonna be looked at as one of the big Scorsese movies.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So yeah, I prepared a list. You know. Oh, first you gave it a 9 out of 10.
I gave it a 9. You gave it an 8.
Okay, so 8.5. That's. I think
and the only reason
reasonable.
I honestly give it a 9 because I want to give it a 10, but I give it a 9 because that CGI is distracting. And it does.
Actually,
I hate to penalize it because it's just for me because like the blue eyes and the fact that it looks like such an old body, you know, not that I'm complaining, you know, but that's the only reason it gets a peg off for me because I don't know, man. There's something about Martin Scorsese, the way he directs a film that I eat it up. I eat it up like fucking like ice cream. Also, one thing you mentioned the Kennedy stuff. Jack Houston makes an appearance as.
I wanted to mention that.
Yeah, as Robert Kennedy, which and again another Boardwalk Empire kind of connection there. The character he plays in Boardwalk Empire is one of the best characters you're ever going to see on screen. So Jack Houston, I feel like needs to get his due at some point, and I hope he does.
I like him actually. I don't know why, even though I haven't seen him in lots of stuff, but he's in some bad shit, like Ben-Hur and stuff.
Yes,
you know.
Yes. That's my point. Yeah.
I think he should also Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which is an abysmal movie. He should choose his movies better.
He needs another great role. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Because I feel like he's kind of wasting his career at this point, which is kind of sad.
Oh, he's gonna be in Fargo next year. That's okay. That's something good.
Good old Fargo.
Fargo's an amazing show. You should watch it.
I know. I still need to watch it. I think after I get caught up on Billions, I think I'm gonna go through Power, and then I'll go through Fargo at some point. It's definitely on the list, though.
I prepared a list.
What's the list?
it's like I wrote down some actors we could rate, but I feel like we should do a list once in a while, you know?
Yeah. Do you mind if I step away for 2-3 minutes? Is that okay if we have a small
That's
break?
totally
Okay.
small
I'll
break.
be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
All right. All right.
Okay.
So,
So,
what kind of list you got?
I actually initially I tried to make a movie quiz for you, but the problem I found was either the questions are too easy or it's just kind of lame.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote some down, but they're all kind of whatever.
What
Do you
are
want
the
to hear
ones you
them?
have? Yeah. Fuck
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, it's just a few. I want to like make the list instead. But okay. Which actors play the Blues Brothers?
Oh, John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd.
Right. What institution do the Blues Brothers want to save?
Oh fuck. I don't remember that. I was never a big fan of the Blues Brothers. I
I haven't
watched
even
it.
seen it.
I
You know,
watched
I
it when I
just
was a kid, but I don't know the institute. What are they
they
trying
want
to
to
say?
want to save an orphanage. I think they're orphan where they grew up.
Okay.
Who directed Independence Day?
Roland Emmerich.
Okay. How many of the seven samurai survive in the movie?
Fuck. One.
No, three.
I didn't know that, dude. I had no idea.
You haven't seen it, right?
No, I haven't. No,
Okay.
unfortunately. The Akira
Um,
Kurosawa.
Right.
Yeah.
What is the name of the American Seven Samurai remake?
47 Ronin.
No.
No, wait. Star Wars.
What? No.
Wait,
It's a
no.
movie with
Magnificent Seven. Magnificent Seven.
right. Yeah.
There we go.
What is the name of the tiger in the Jungle Book?
Shere Khan.
That's correct. At what age did James Dean die?
21?
No. Guess
27.
again. No. Younger.
26.
No.
25.
No.
22.
No.
23.
No.
What? Oh, 19?
No.
20.
Did you say 24?
I never said 24.
Yeah, that would be the correct
That's the one
answer.
I didn't say. Jesus. All right.
Okay, in the film Giant, what makes James Dean's character become a millionaire?
Oil?
Right. What is Rocky Balboa's nickname?
The Italian Stallion.
Correct. Who wrote the book The Godfather?
Mario Puzo.
Who plays Winston in the John Wick movies?
Oh, shit. I've only seen the first one.
Oh.
This is awkward. Ruby
Say name.
Rose. I know that's not it, though, dude.
Winston.
Who plays Winston?
Ian McShane.
Okay. Yeah, I plan to actually watch all three of those soon. So
You should.
yeah.
For what movie did Jodie Foster get an Oscar?
The Accused.
And Silence of the Lambs.
Yes, and Silence of the Lambs.
Right. For how many movies did Christian Bale get Oscar nominated?
Oh my God, that's a tough one. 8?
No.
Less or more.
It's fewer than that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. 4?
That's correct.
Oh.
Do you know which ones?
What would have to be The Fighter, Vice.
Yes.
Hang on, give me a minute. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. Oh wait, the Big Short, right?
Right. And the last one?
Oh fuck. What is it? I know it's gonna irritate me as soon as you
It's
say
not
it
the
too.
fuck.
What is it? Tell me.
American Hustle.
Damn it! Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
That's all the
too.
questions I've got. You know, totally lame, kind
I
of.
like those though. I knew
Yeah,
a lot
but
of those.
yeah, it's yeah,
You know me. I like easy shit. You know.
right. Those were kind of easy, so I might do like a real quiz for next time, but it's quite a lot of effort.
I know. It's
But I like making effort for this show, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, I made a list, and this list is kind of basic, in a
Okay.
way. It's my top 10 male protagonist performances.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What do you got?
I got some honorable mentions, of course, because I always do. Because
Mhm.
I you know, once I write down all the names I consider, I just don't want to exclude. You know, I want to talk about those I didn't put on the list. Even though, like, we can go about those, like, over those quickly. If you want to talk about one, you can.
No, you can
interrupt me.
talk about your honorable mentions. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so Russell Crowe as Maximus Decimus Meridius in Gladiator.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah,
Pretty solid.
that's a good one. Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, for me, this list is not just performances, but also how much I like the protagonists in those
The
movies.
character and how much
Yeah.
you're rooting for them too. Like I think
True,
you're
yeah.
really rooting for Maximus from day one. So
Yeah, also good performance by him.
yes.
Then Leonardo DiCaprio. He's going to be in this list, a few more times.
A few times.
As Jordan Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, I don't know if that is a protagonist though. That's
he is a protagonist. He's
Is
an
he?
anti-hero.
Is he?
He is, dude. He's the protagonist of the movie. He's not the hero, though.
It's kind of
No.
a scumbag, you know.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's not the protagonist. He's
Okay.
just an anti-hero.
Very
kind of.
one of the most likable characters I've ever seen on screen.
Right. Okay. Edward Norton as Derek Wynyard in American History X.
Kind
Great
of
performance.
anti-hero-ish again.
You don't root for him at first, but
Well, I mean, he murders a person in cold blood.
Yeah, it's like it's questionable if he actually gets redemption, because what he did is kind of not. You can't apologize for that.
I mean, the ending to me of the movie is where it stands out as really good because no spoilers, but someone close to him dies. So
I always found that pretty sad. Like
I
it
did
always
too.
hit me,
I did too.
even though Edward. Okay,
I was gonna say I don't like the character. I don't like that actor, so it
yeah,
still
I
works
almost
out.
said the
It still
name.
works out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good story. I like the movie a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, then a classic one. Even though I don't think the performance is. I mean, it's good for what it is, but it's not comparable to someone like Jordan Belfort.
Mhm.
Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones
Oh,
in Raiders.
Yeah,
or
that's number
anything else.
one, dude. That's number one.
He's the totally likable hero, but like performance-wise, it's just it's good at what it is. It's a fun performance.
But can you
The
picture
hero.
anybody else as Indiana?
No, even though maybe because like I would rather see a reboot with a young actor than having old Harrison Ford return to the
Do
role.
you go easy and go Chris Pratt?
No,
You go.
I would
someone-
say I think Bradley Cooper would be fine.
I like Bradley Cooper. Yeah,
Even though
I think
he's
he
not
might
young
be-
anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing because you'd want to go younger. You'd want to go younger for a movie.
Maybe. I just thought Robert Pattinson, but he's not the right actor for that. He can't do all the roles.
Maybe what's the kid's name from Solo again? I just cast him again.
Right, Alden Ehrenreich.
There we go. Everybody loves Alden Ehrenreich. So.
He hasn't done a movie since, which is kind of sad.
It is kind of sad. It is because he was actually good.
Yeah, he's not the issue, dude. Like
He's not the
just
issue now.
The problem that the movie flopped and he kind of got shit for it. So yeah.
Because you could tell going back to Solo, you could tell that they were setting up a another thing there, and I don't think we'll ever see the fruition of that.
Okay, next one. Leonardo DiCaprio as Hugh Glass in The Revenant.
Mm-hmm.
Great performance.
It's a solid protagonist because you're just rooting for him the whole time.
Yeah, but yeah, it's actually I think one of the weaker DiCaprio heroes. Kind of. I don't know why.
It's kind of it's a conflicting movie in a lot of ways. I don't know.
I love the movie though.
I do too. Yeah.
Generally, but it's not that DiCaprio is what makes the movie for me because I think Tom Hardy is actually better.
I don't even think The Revenant is a movie. I think it's like an experience. Like that's the best way to fucking talk about that movie. It's just incredible in scope. But it's definitely a movie that I'd watch more and more and more too because I've seen it 3 times now. So
I've just seen it a few weeks ago. We talked
I
about
remember.
it last time.
I remember, yeah. Like that,
and it's still just fantastic. Like the camera movement, the cinematography might be my favorite of all time.
It's like it feels like the riskiest cinematography, probably the hardest movie to ever shoot. The way they did it. So
yes, they just pulled it off.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Johnny Depp as Raoul Duke in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Okay. All right.
That's a fun role.
Definitely not a protagonist, though. I don't know how that.
Protagonist means from which perspective the movie is told. You know,
Okay.
it's not hero. Not favorite hero character because he is not. Jordan Belfort isn't as well, but just like he's the guy you follow the story alongside with.
Definitely my favorite Johnny Depp role ever, too.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Even though, okay,
the way he said it, yes, I agree. Yes.
I agree, but move like, okay, I don't want to spoil it, so moving on. Tom Hanks as
Don't say Forrest Gump.
no.
Okay.
Viktor Navorsky in The Terminal.
Oh, that is
that
not
movie,
what I expected. Yeah.
Right, but that movie is great, and I think he is like he's so likable in every movie, but especially in this one.
Yeah, and again, just rooting for the guy to go home. You know.
Right, dude, that's a movie I should see again.
I like that movie. It's an underrated movie, man. The Terminal.
Yeah, and like totally feel good movie. Like,
yes. Yeah.
Okay, next one. Paul Newman, Henry Gondorff in The Sting. The coolest guy in the room always.
I think I've said it before. I favor The Sting over Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Me too.
I think The Sting is so smart and so.
It's so fun.
It's got that heist feel to it, you know, and it just all three of the characters, because you got Robert Shaw too as the bad guy.
Yeah, right. That's in Butch Cassidy. You only have those two, kind of, you know.
Yeah,
and maybe the girl, but in The Sting there are more people, and Robert Shaw especially. Yeah.
The Sting is one of those movies where if they decided to remake it with new actors, I'd be kind of indifferent. But like if you had like maybe Leonardo and Gosling or something like that, something like with some big names, they could probably pull it off. But it's one of those movies that I feel kind of like The Great Escape. Just don't touch it. Just leave them alone.
I would like to see DiCaprio and Tom Cruise together. That would be cool.
I wonder if that'll ever happen.
Probably not. Okay.
Who would get top billing? I mean, who would?
Speaking of The Great Escape, Steve McQueen as Captain Hills in The Great Escape.
There you go. There you go.
All right.
You already know I like that pick.
Yeah. And moving on, Steve McQueen as Henry Shearer in Papillon.
Papillon? Papillon?
I think it said Papillon.
Have you seen the new one?
I don't speak French. No, I have not, but I would like to see it because I like Charlie Hunnam.
I kind of want to see it too.
It seems like I feel like a remake of that just could be a fun movie. But
you know what? I apologize. Ahmed. I wrote down all my movies that I saw. I forgot about one movie. You just reminded me because of Charlie Hunnam. I watched Lost City of Z.
Lost City
of Zed.
Great role.
Yeah. I actually like that movie a lot, man. I didn't expect that I would because I heard in different reviews about it, but I liked the period feel, and I liked Charlie Hunnam in it because I've really been indifferent about Charlie Hunnam. So, you know, just wanted to throw that out there.
I think it's a good movie, but like it's a 6 out of 10 for me.
Definitely don't want to watch it again.
Yeah, but I liked Pattinson in that one because it's very different to what he played before.
Like I enjoyed the journey, but I was really I felt a little impressed by Hunnam because Hunnam, to me, is always the Sons of Anarchy Jax Teller, and I don't know if he's ever going to be able to get out of the shadow of that. But Lost City kind of gave me a little hope for that.
Also, the ending is kind of sad.
The ending's fucked. Yeah, the ending is fucked.
And dude, Tom Holland. That
was a cool little role for Holland because I was like,
that was before Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's very young, like younger.
Yeah.
So,
if you want to see really young Tom Holland, you should see The Impossible with Ewan McGregor and Naomi Watts.
That's the Tsunami.
There he's like 14 or something.
And I would like to see that actually.
That's a good one, yeah. Okay.
Also, one more time, we had a little connection with Nicholas Hoult earlier. He plays Nicolas Cage's son in The Weatherman. There you go.
Yeah.
Just completely throw you off there.
Gotta see, not sure if that's, good casting, but he was pretty young at that time as well, still.
He's a teenager in The Weatherman.
Okay.
So.
How old is Nicholas Hoult? Like 29?
I don't know, but I feel like Holt's one of the up and comers. I feel like he's fun to watch.
Like I think I looked up how old he was, and I think it's 29 or something. And I kind of expected him to be older because I've seen him in a lot of stuff.
Did you see the Tolkien movie that he?
No, sadly not.
Curious
I
about
would
that
like to.
one. Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. Me too.
But Holt was good in The Favorite and in Mad Max. So
Yes.
yeah, I agree. He's gonna be a big name
Just one to watch, I think. Nicholas Holt.
for sure.
Yeah.
Next in my honorable mentions, James Franco as Tommy Wiseau in The Disaster Artist.
Yes. Yes.
Great performance.
It's funny. I just had this itch to watch that again too. So
Yeah, that's just a good time movie.
it is.
And it's not like, it's also kind of deep in a way. You know? That friendship thing. It's
you saw The Room, right? Like you
yeah,
watched
I did.
it. Oh yeah.
Before I saw The Disaster Artist, I think that's
Yes.
the right way to do it.
You have to. Yeah.
And he nails Wiseau totally.
He does. Like, it was a tragedy that he didn't get nominated for the Oscar for that. I thought it was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
He doesn't really look like him. He looks a lot better than Wiseau, but you know, it doesn't even matter because he got the mannerisms and the way of talking and stuff. It's all perfect.
The voice, the way his face moves, it's perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Denzel Washington as
Glory?
Coach Herman Boone in Remember the Titans.
Ooh.
Glory is not the protagonist. So
No, you're right. You're right. Couldn't be Training Day.
no.
That's a good pick. I actually Remember the Titans is like, I feel like one of the last great football feel good movies. Like they did it right. Remember the Titans.
The thing they did is it's a serious topic with racism and all, but they made a fun movie out of it, you know?
They did.
So also,
I mean, it
really
feels,
young Ryan Gosling.
And it feels real too, because it came out before this heavy SJW,
right.
stuff. And I feel like it was made at the right time, because I think if it was made today, it would be a little different.
Yeah, I can see that.
Different. One thing I did notice about the two movies that we talked about mainly this week, which is Hollywood and Irishman both, is that Scorsese and Tarantino didn't go hard N-word, I don't think, once in these movies, which I thought which is different than
but it's not
entries.
even in Hollywood, like in both movies, it's not even the topic.
Yeah, but Tarantino really does sneak it in there usually, so I was kind of surprised that it wasn't in there at some point.
Yeah.
And then there's a part in The Irishman where they say the blacks, and I wonder if the script was changed there at the last minute.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Maybe the directors are growing. They don't need the hard ends anymore. Of course, then I watched Hateful Eight, and I'm like, oh my god, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, dude,
there's a lot in there. There's a lot in there, man.
Dude, and I just watched, because I love it so much, I watched the scene in Django where DiCaprio freaks out. So,
oh man.
Yeah. I can't quote any line of that scene.
No, it's kind of unquotable for us white people.
Okay, next, moving on from Remember the Titans, where Ryan Gosling has a small role. Next honorable mention is Ryan Gosling as Dan Dunn in Half Nelson. I know you haven't seen that, but it's a great performance.
No, I haven't seen Half Nelson yet. Who you said someone else was in that though too? Half Nelson.
Anthony Mackie is in.
Oh right. Now this is the one where he's a teacher, but he's a drug addict.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds
it's a good one.
That sounds compelling. It's not a movie where he's the guy that goes into the troubled school and turns everything around because he does a rap song, right?
No, he actually he doesn't help the kids. The kids kind of help him because he's the one in trouble because of drugs.
Because I feel like that's a genre just done to death. I don't ever want to see a movie where the teacher comes into the troubled school and turns it all around.
What about Dead Poet Society?
Dead Poet Society was good, and also one of the movies that really stands out is Lean on Me. You probably want to put that on your list at some point. One of the coolest Morgan Freeman roles.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it was a 80s movie, I think. 88, I want to say. But Yeah, because it just seems to be a lot of those movies around that time. You had Stand and Deliver, Dangerous Minds, The Principal, but Lean on Me is one of the best.
Okay, it's on my list now.
Because Lean on Me, when I saw that when I was a kid, I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to high school. That's terrifying. So it made me scared shitless to go to school.
All right. Next one, Daniel Day-Lewis as Christy Brown in My Left Foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can you
What
not
can I
root
say?
for? How can you not root for that guy, man? He's
Yeah,
can
right.
only use his goddamn foot. You know the
What a
odds are
great
against
movie.
you.
I love that movie. Okay, now we have Johnny Depp again
Mm-hmm.
as Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one, because I really like the first one. Like, just exclude all of the others. The first one's great. And if you only take that performance before it's been done to death,
Right.
it's great.
I mean, I've said it before. I actually like the first three like a lot. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love the first trilogy. I love the third one, even though people bitch that it's too long and all that shit. It's like
That's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. The fourth one is the one that I hate the most. But the guy that I like the most is Barbossa.
Oh yeah, Geoffrey Rush.
Yeah, but he's not a protagonist.
No.
And the Orlando Bloom character I grew to like more and more as the series went. Especially about
I'm not a
third one.
huge fan of Bloom.
Really?
Yeah, he's just kind of whatever to me.
But you're the Lord of the Rings guy, you know?
Yeah, but I think that's a one trick.
How are you going to go against Legolas?
He's fine. I'm more for I like Aragorn more.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, my next honorable mention: Viggo Mortensen
Mm.
as Tony Lip in Green Book.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Aragorn.
No, he's not the protagonist. Frodo is the protagonist.
Yeah, which is horrible. It's terrible.
You think so?
Terrible. Yeah.
I think your opinion on Lord of the Rings is totally wrong.
I think my Lord of the Rings opinion falls in line with a lot of other people with Lord of the Rings.
Nah, I think you're just wrong.
It's fantastic, but falls short. Have a little darkness in your tale there, J.R.R. I'm just saying.
You just don't know what you're talking about.
I know. Because you love
I don't
movies
wanna be
where
that guy.
everything is okay at the end. I mean,
Yeah, but like after 12 hours, you just want to see that.
12 hours and 50 endings later. Yeah. I'm feeling it.
Get out of here.
I'm fucking feeling it. If you've ever seen Clerks 2, they tell you the perfect Lord of the Rings, analogy.
Okay. Yeah, Viggo Mortensen in Green Book is great. Even though you could argue that Mahershala Ali is also the protagonist. And what I notice is that a lot of people mark Green Book as a white savior story movie. Which I think, like, for me, that movie mainly works because of the friendship aspect between those guys. And, like, the racism stuff isn't that prominent for me. Even though I can see why people are, like, bothered by it, because it's a white director who, makes a movie about the oppression of black people.
Well, it's like, for me, though, it's like you're not allowed to make a story where the white guy is good and fucking, saves the day at some point. Like, that's not cool anymore.
That doesn't even happen, really.
Right.
They just form a friendship, and it's all, like, they support each other in different ways, Well,
the white savior complaint just screams to me the same as the damsel in distress. Like, people bitch about that when that shit actually happens.
Yeah. I mean, I can see why people are outraged by the fact that Green Book won Best Picture.
Do you think it deserved it?
I'm not sure. For me, it's a feel-good movie with some good comedy, but like Best Picture, not so sure.
I thought last year was kind of weak. Last year
it was
a little weak. Yeah.
Like I think it's better than Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, but I'd watch Bohemian Rhapsody again.
I would watch Green Book again. Green Book is a feel-good comedy. Like, there's nothing wrong with watching it. It's fun.
Okay, all right.
But I'm actually not sure what else was nominated last year.
The Favorite was nominated.
Oh yeah, I would like. Yeah, The Favorite should have won it. Yeah.
Even The Favorite though would be hard for me to say Best Picture.
Yeah, like
it just was a weak year. I felt like.
It was, yeah. I think this year is going to be strong. Um, even though I
Probably.
think the Irishman will take it.
I
But
think it will as
should,
well.
by the way, just throwing it in, do you want to do an episode about Marriage Story next week? It's a Netflix movie again. And
Oh, it is Netflix?
Yeah. Adam
Let me
Driver and
see here.
Scarlett Johansson.
Let's just
Oh,
see
thanks
here.
for the follow.
Oh, this is the movie where they divorce.
Where they get divorced, and like from a lot of people, I heard that Adam Driver's performance is absolutely Oscar worthy. So
You sure this is? Oh, it is Netflix. Okay. Yeah, I'm down for that. Absolutely. That
yeah,
looks like my kind of flick right there.
I actually started watching it today. The first 10 minutes.
It's like Kramer versus Kramer Part 2. Yeah. Now,
It looks like
Divorce
my
is
kind of movie.
Divorce is fucked. So I mean, I'm sure it'll be a compelling
Yeah,
story.
I have no experience, you know.
No?
No,
Oh.
I know you do.
Oh, I do. Yes, I have been divorced, and I'm a child of divorce as well.
Yeah,
so.
okay. My parents are separated too, but not technically not divorced. But yeah, I think like my parents get along very well, so it's not that, you know. I don't think I will see anything from my life in that movie, but still, it still can be emotional, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to connect, you know, on levels like that, you know. But I like the actors here because I do like
Ray
ScarJo.
Liotta is in it.
Oh, I do like Ray.
Yeah, he's like I think at the moment he's kind of coming back a bit because I think he's in more stuff currently, in more good stuff than like I think after Goodfellas and Hannibal and stuff, he's been a lot of shit, but
This director too is the guy that did the Meyerowitz stories. We talked
right.
about that
I
at
haven't
some
seen that.
point. Yeah, we might have to check that out at some point. I don't know if I want to do a whole show on that movie though. I don't know. But I'm down for Marriage Story. That's a good call.
It has 8.5 on IMDb currently, so I think it's worth talking about. So
yeah, that's pretty fucking high, mate.
All right, moving on with the honorable mentions of my top 10 male protagonist performance list. Al Pacino as Sonny in Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah, that might be top 10. Of course, I'd need to still hear the top 10, but that's just performance wise. Like, I mean,
it's fantastic. Yes.
I hail that as his second best performance, right by Michael Corleone. You know, that Dog Day to me.
Jimmy Hoffa.
Well, Jimmy Hoffa is fresh. I'd probably have to do a second viewing to see if I still feel the same, but I still say that the Jimmy Hoffa is up there. But Dog Day is a special movie because it's, you know, it's just part of that era that was fantastic, and it's got that guy that John Cazale.
John Cazale,
yeah, which I don't know elevates the movie for me because he's dead. You know, he just.
It's kind of sad because he was in 4 good movies, you know, and then he died.
Like great fucking movies, you know what I mean? Like,
like Godfather 1, 2, Dog Day Afternoon, Deer Hunter, you know. Like,
that's not a bad start, you know. He's almost like the James Dean in a way.
True, yeah. Everybody would be happy to have those 4 in their filmography, you know.
And people don't hate Fredo, you know what I mean? Like people, they love Fredo.
No,
so
it's just, I mean, you kind of you feel empathy for him. Like the thing that Michael does to him is not, you don't like that he's doing that. But kind of still, it's kind of justified still. But you know,
you understand why he has to do it.
That's why Godfather is so great.
Especially 2.
Oh, yeah. Okay, next one. Peter O'Toole, T.E. Lawrence of Arabia.
That's a good one.
No Prisoners. Dude, I love that movie. I could watch that again. I think it's been a year since I watched it.
Yeah, it falls into those classics that I really like, the set piece classics from back in the day that I really appreciate.
Big desert epics.
That's a good way to put them. Big desert epics, yeah.
Also, it's World War One, even though it's like, I like it a lot and it's fun, even though it doesn't have a lot of action, but just the whole production value is great.
Yeah, it shows the side of World War One that was happening, you know, down in the Middle East, which is, you know, kind of one of the most poignant things about World War One, the fall of the Ottoman Empire, which is, You know, they reigned for 600 years. So,
dude, we need more World War One movies.
I agree. I can't wait for 1917. Does that come out this year?
Me too.
Is that?
I think in January.
Oh, that's the kiss of death. Hang on.
Wait,
No, it says 2019. Oh, December 25th. So they're just gonna make it. They're just gonna make it.
I think it was screened at some for the press and at festivals.
Yeah. But, so if this does pull off what we want it to, this could be in contention as well.
I think, like from what I heard, it's gonna win best cinematography.
It's the one shot, right?
Yeah, you know, yeah, duh. So.
Yeah, that's tough to. Yeah, you and I both are the fan of the swooping camera one shot. You know,
like also I read some reviews and people said that they sometimes couldn't believe what camera movement they could pull off. So it's gonna be interesting, and also a great cast. Even though I think it's the British ensemble cast is more. I don't think that you're gonna see a lot of Colin Firth and Mark Strong in that. I think it's mostly focused on George McKay and the Tom and Baratheon guy.
Yeah, the two kids, the two younger. Yeah,
which is fine probably because I think those two are also upcoming good actors.
Well, yeah, because even a small part can still speak volumes for years. Because just think Robert Duvall in Apocalypse Now. He's in it for like 5 minutes it feels like, but that role was so fucking bitchin'.
Yeah, like the smell of napalm.
It's fucking dude. I love that role because when he gets all pissed off and the one kid is like, "I can't surf that, man. There's bombs going off." He's like, "Ah, fuck it, I'll fucking surf it." And he starts ripping off his clothes. It's fucking psychopath.
I could watch that again actually because it's been like 3 years, I think. Okay, moving on.
You gotta go Redux. You gotta go Redux.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay,
moving on. Very recent movie. Eddie Murphy as Rudy Ray Moore in Dolomite Is My Name.
Oh, I still need to see this.
You should, yeah. That's fantastic performance, yeah.
Do you think he'll get nominated?
Ooh, that's actually interesting. The competition is strong, though. I'm not sure.
Eddie Murphy's made his rounds in the Oscars circuit before with Showgirls, but does Dolomite is it just comedy though?
It's I would like to see Wesley Snipes get nominated, but I think his part isn't big enough.
Okay.
But it's hilarious. So
is there drama to Dolomite at all, or is it all comedy?
Yeah, there kind of is, but
that's fine.
In the end, it's just a fun movie. Like,
yeah, not everything has to be Oscar.
The stakes aren't that high, you know, if you think about it. But
yeah,
it's a damn fun movie. Also, I love Keegan-Michael Key. He's fantastic.
I do like him.
I think he plays the director of the movie they're making, and it's pretty fun.
He's been good in pretty much everything I've seen him in. Very funny.
True. Yeah, that's true. This year has been great for Netflix. You've got The King, Dolomite, The Irishman, Marriage Story, The Dirt. Yeah. So some great fucking stuff.
The Dirt was strong.
Yeah. Like I think last year was weaker. You had Cam.
They're getting way better with their movies and their choices of the movies.
Yeah, because they should.
I agree. Well, I mean, I feel like they really got to get good too. I mean, they just really raised the bar with the fucking Irishman. I mean, arguably one of the best directors in history just showed up at your door and he just gave you a masterpiece.
Yeah, made a masterpiece that will be talked about for years, kind of.
Yeah. So I'm excited about the streaming, future.
Yeah. Also,
even though you and I are still old school, like we prefer certain movies on screen, I think.
Yeah, like there's something about watching movies on the big screen. I think I wouldn't have appreciated Ad Astra as much as I had if I watched it on my PC.
I completely agree with you. Yeah, Ad Astra I saw in IMAX, and I think it elevated the film.
Ad Astra still is one of the best movies I've seen all year. So we should do a best of 2019 episode for sure.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Or just a recap episode. Also, I think it's gonna be interesting when the Oscar nominations get released.
Yeah, usually that's February. I think they release them.
Not January.
Somewhere around there. I know they.
Okay.
Because I used to wake up at. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning when I was a kid to hear them.
No, I never did that. Like I always
I
just.
was a complete psycho, and you have no idea.
I
No
mean,
idea.
I had some sleepless nights because I watched the Oscars. Because
I
when at like over here the Oscars air at like I think 2 a.m. until 5 a.m. So
I
it's
like
always
that
kind of
though. I would love to watch them in the middle of the night rather than.
yeah.
I feel
All
like the
right.
Oscars are getting harder to watch though. I'll say that. Like they need to. I don't know. They need to make better choices because I have to admit the last three
Last year was
choices.
weak, dude. Last year was actually, if you consider that Black Panther and Black Klansman were nominated, it's a weak year.
Yeah, I don't understand why Infinity War did not get nominated and they
Yeah,
nominate Black
Infinity War is
Panther.
like miles better than Black Panther,
Yeah,
even though Black
yeah.
Panther is all right. But it's just yeah.
And thank you for reminding me that Black Klansman was nominated. I completely
Yeah, you
forgot
don't like
about
that
that.
movie, I know.
Yeah.
All right, I should move on.
All right.
Aaron Eckhart as Nick Naylor in Thank You for Smoking.
That's a good one.
Also anti-hero. He's not like he's kind of likable, but actually he's not. He's an asshole, but it's so fun to watch him.
He plays a great asshole.
Yeah,
A great asshole.
and Aaron Eckhart, he's not in enough movies. I always say that.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
I mean, he was in Midway, but that doesn't count.
Your favorite movie of 2019, Midway.
I think it's outrageous that movie actually has a 6.9 on IMDb. 6.9, dude. That's higher than Mandy or King
just
Arthur:
think
Legend
about
of
like
the Sword.
the waste of the money that went into that production. Just completely wasted.
I think they just, Roland Emmerich should stop making movies.
Yeah, I mean, Roland
that's
Emmerich,
harsh, but dude, come on.
Roland Emmerich is like almost like UV Bowl in a way. I don't know if you know UV Bowl, but
Of course I know UV.
You know UV Bowl? Yeah, he's notorious for like being.
He's
such a
German,
bad
dude.
director,
Of course I know
dude.
him. He's crazy popular. Like
Yeah.
he's not liked, but everybody knows that his movies generally suck ass. Like totally.
Yeah. The sad part is Roland Emmerich knows it, and he knows what he's doing in terms of the popcorn field, and he's just going to continue to make them.
You kind of have to give him credit for just doing his style, like totally, unironically pulling it off, kind of.
And I fall for it too. I fall for it almost every time. Like Day After Tomorrow, I fell for it then. I fell for it in 10,000 BC. I fell for it in 2012. I saw all these movies in the theater, and I left the theater regretting my life.
I feel like he is kind of like Michael Bay in even
Michael
worse.
Bay is so much better though.
That doesn't
Michael
mean,
Bay.
like, and I don't like Michael Bay at all, but like he is better at what he does than
I feel like Michael Bay kind of ruined his career because of the Transformers stuff. I think he held back his career so much, like because The Rock, I think, is really good, and
yes, Armageddon.
Armageddon is solid. It's a solid, fun movie, Armageddon, and the other movies like Bad Boys, like those are good movies to me.
Bad Boys is good. Yeah.
Yeah, and but Transformers just held that dude back. So
it's kind of all he did the last few years, except from Pain and Gain, which was actually better than Transformers.
And that was a different kind of movie. Like that's the kind of shit I wouldn't mind seeing from Michael Bay, is something different than a fucking blockbuster. But he does direct action very well. He has a very signature style that I do like. But I just don't like his Transformers adaptations. I thought they were
not at all. Have you seen Bumblebee?
I haven't seen it yet. No,
that's way better.
I heard it's nothing but I heard it was good. Because it's more faithful. As a Transformers fan. So yeah,
it got Haley Steinfeld. She's good.
Yeah, she is good.
I have to see True Grit again, I think, because I've seen that once, and I think when I watched it, I was like 12 or 13, and I did like it.
It did come out a while ago. Yeah.
And, as a person who likes Westerns, I think I should revisit that.
I remember really liking Matt Damon in that, too. I really liked Matt Damon
and Josh Brolin is in that. I forgot.
He is, but it's not like a big
It's not
role.
a Brolin movie.
Yeah, it's more of a Jeff Bridges vehicle,
And Matt Damon plays his friend who's a sniper, I think.
Like, I'll be honest, I would much rather watch that version than the John Wayne version. So I mean, I
I've
feel
never seen a John Wayne movie, but I always felt like John Wayne is more corny.
very corny. Yeah, very
Yeah,
corny.
yeah.
There's only a couple John Wayne movies that I can stomach, but other than that, John Wayne is just kind of ridiculous for me.
I feel like from that era, the westerns from Italy were way better. Because like stuff like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's some more mature shit.
Yeah,
That's
all
dark
right. Now
and
I'll
more
give you
ambiguous.
I'll give you some credit here. I did like the spaghetti western like talk with Hollywood. I did like that aspect of it because he didn't want to go do it because at that time it was looked down upon. So I did like that they did include that. Because there's a lot of
Yeah.
spaghetti westerns. There's a lot of them. Like we
Oh,
remember
actually,
the really good ones.
oh yeah, and also he in Hollywood they mentioned Sergio Corbucci, who is director of the original Django, and
Oh, okay.
that's interesting. So I really want to see Django, but it's hard to get. Kind of,
The
it's very
original.
expensive. Yeah,
Hmm.
but the Italo westerns were like they were more brutal and dirty than the Hollywood John Wayne stuff.
Well, I feel like
And
they changed westerns too.
totally, like I mean, like from nowadays the westerns you remember are the ones by Sergio Leone,
Mhm.
and not like I mean John Wayne is remembered, but I feel like something like Once Upon a Time in the West and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly are more remembered as great movies than the John Wayne stuff.
Well, definitely give the Sam Peckinpah stuff a chance because the Wild Bunch, and I don't know if he did the Outlaw Josie Wales, but the Outlaw Josie Wales is one of my favorite Clint Eastwood movies. Oh, Clint Eastwood directed the Outlaw Josie Wales, so
Oh,
that makes sense. I can't believe that's PG. Anyway, but yeah,
but
they definitely I feel like without the spaghetti westerns, you might have had a bad go there because you're right on point that the John Wayne stuff is fucking terrible. I don't like it.
actually like as sad as it is, I think my favorite western is Django Unchained, even though it's more of a like it references westerns a lot, but I think on its own as a western, I don't know, it's like it can't really stand on its own without the other stuff.
I like the Man with No Name trilogy, like all together. I like all of them.
Yeah, true. I haven't seen A Few Dollars More.
The Unforgiven is really stands out for me too. But
Yeah, Open Range, 310 to Humor,
yeah,
Bone Tomahawk.
there's so much
There's
you
some,
could do with a western too. Because even
yeah,
Hateful Eight, man. I mean, like I said, I mean, it just that movie is so good for me. I don't know why I love it
it
so
is.
much
Yes,
now, but like that is a western, even though it's not, you know, like they're not OK corralling it type fucking shit, but it's a different kind of western, you know.
it's
And,
a snow western, which is great. That's
I just
something
that era
fresh.
though, I feel like you could make Hollywood could stand to make more westerns. I feel like,
Totally.
yeah.
I think at the moment, which is weird, that I would say that Tarantino is the best Western director because, like it or not, I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has a lot of Western influence in
There's
it.
some themes there, yeah.
Also, like it's sometimes directed as a Western. I mean, not only the show they do, but also um, Tarantino does some shots the same way as Sergio Leone did his shots.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the camera is panning to the sky and you like the whole shot, the whole scene is opening up and stuff. That's done a lot. Tarantino's he understands Western. I think actually for his last movie, I would like to see Django Zorro.
I would like to see a Civil War era epic by Tarantino.
Oh, actually, I think last time I said I would like to see pirate adventure movie, but
I think that'd be weird, but
no.
it could be good though. It could be very good
Yeah,
because he has proven himself when it comes to periods. So,
but just dude, imagine him making Django sequel, Django with Zorro, played by Pedro Pascal. That would be awesome, dude.
not Antonio Banderas, huh?
Oh yeah, he's kind of old, but like I would say Banderas, but maybe a more younger actor than you could go for Pascal.
It'd be a cool crossover. I just don't think it'll happen.
No, it will. It
Yeah.
won't. But there's a comic coming, so that's fine.
But I am with you on. I would love another Django tale though.
Yeah,
'Cause-
yeah.
yeah.
Because I love Jamie Foxx as Django.
You get Jamie Foxx back, and then you get just that Western feel, which he did so well in Django.
And Hateful Eight and Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. We're always going off topic. Tom Hardy as
Mhm.
Ivan Locke in Locke.
Oh, that's an oddball one. I like it.
Yeah, but that's like totally a Tom Hardy performance movie.
It's one of his best performances that not a lot of people
Yeah,
talk
I mean,
about.
he is all you see in the film. So
But they still made a way to make it compelling and drive the whole movie.
totally, I love that
time.
movie.
Yeah.
Did you know that his son is played by Tom Holland, but you can only hear him on the phone, of course.
No, I didn't know that.
That's Tom Holland was in like quite some stuff before Spider-Man.
I remember when I watched the movie, I remember like 30 minutes in, I'm like, I think this is going to be in the car the whole time, which I kind of liked because it was like, me,
Yeah.
I love dialogue. So I was all in with Locke. I thought that was really an underrated movie.
It's one of those small gems
Yes.
that I think more people should check out.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think you liked it as much either, but I really like The Drop as well. I watched those back to back because I just got on
Which one?
The Drop.
I felt like The Drop was kind of lame in a way. I wasn't really, and actually, I noticed maybe I'm not as big of a fan of gangster movies as I thought I would be.
Maybe.
Because
Maybe you just don't like the Italian tough guy.
like a lot of gangster movies I saw recently, I wasn't really into those, like Kill the Irishman and The Drop, and I don't like Goodfellas that much or Scarface.
That's true.
Even though I always considered myself a mafia movie fan, but
oh wow! Thank you for the sub. Yeah. Thank you. Subbed for 12 months. A whole year, the lady.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's crazy. Thank you. Especially on our movie show. That's awesome.
Yes. Last honorable mention.
But I will say though, it is interesting that you have a thing with gangster movies when you do like the West, because I feel like gangsters represent like the West, the lawlessness.
Kinda. But
you might want to examine this theory of yours, I think, with gangster movies.
Like the difference between gangster and Western is that the outlaws in the Western movies, they behave very differently to the gangsters, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
Because like in gangster movies, they're kind of high society, but the outlaws are kind of, on the bottom end.
I can see that.
So, yeah, it's.
And the West
I kind of prefer the West.
And the West is a time in itself. It's amazing that it ever even happened. It's
right.
It's a pretty crazy time when you think about the time in the West in America at that time. So it's pretty crazy. The fact that half the country went to war with each other, and then all of the other shit that happened after that. Like, it's pretty interesting.
For me, I think the appeal of Western is I like the whole idea of the frontier.
Yes.
The uncharted land and just like lawlessness and stuff. I love that. And, I think Western is one of my favorite genres for sure. But according to IMDb, which my highest rated genre is biography movies, which I can totally see because I really like those.
Yeah.
But I know it's like generally historical stuff always is kind of, I have a weakness for period.
I agree.
Pieces.
Yeah, period. Just Westerns, like I said though, just there's not enough of them. Because even Hostels, I thought was a really good Western.
Different Western, totally different.
Very different. Yeah.
And
even the Revenant in a way is not. I don't know, because that feels like frontier. But
yeah,
like, see, that's a genre that I feel like needs to be more though. Is the frontier, the hills, the
trappers,
the trappers, the pelts, all that shit like that. Like, give me a Lewis and Clark movie, something around that time when everything was uncharted.
yes.
Yeah. See, it just proves, Amon loves America. I'm telling you.
I mean, it's a love-hate relationship.
Do you ever plan on like visiting Hollywood one day?
Sure. I don't have many goals in life, which is kind of sad, but I would like to see Hollywood one day. Just,
It's kind of a shithole.
Yeah, but still, I just, yeah, but yeah, I definitely want to visit America.
I will say this. It is still to this day, there is something special about seeing that Hollywood sign, being in the streets, seeing the stars.
Yeah, because you've seen it so many times in media, and literally, really being there is kind of, I think, surreal in a way. Like imagining being there.
Like me personally, I've been there probably 6 times my whole life. I actually drove out to Hollywood, and the best night ever in Hollywood was when I took acid, with my friends. I'm just saying, man.
Murdered some hippies.
It was a fantastic night, out in there's something about that city that is very special. Very special.
Did you see any celebrities?
No, not any time that I was actually there in Hollywood. I've seen celebrities in weird places. Yeah.
Any actors I know, maybe?
Michael Biehn. I think I told you I saw Michael Biehn. Yeah, we saw Michael Biehn at a Renaissance fair.
That is weird. When was that? Was it
dude,
young,
that was,
cool Michael Biehn?
Yeah, dude. This was before Tombstone, but actually this was before The Abyss. So
in the 80s.
This was like Navy SEALs time, Michael Biehn. So it was right after, this is after Terminator, obviously, but I mean, he looked like fucking Kyle Reese when I saw him. So
you were born in 81, right?
I was born in 80.
Okay. But okay, then you were really young at that time. When you saw him.
Yes, I was a little kid because I remember it very well because my aunt had a huge crush on him, so we followed him around for about 20 minutes. She didn't say anything to him or anything like that, but it was for some reason, because where I grew up was about 40 miles away from Hollywood and all that shit. So there was this Renaissance fair in San Bernardino where I grew up. That's the city that I grew up. And there was a Renaissance fair, and it just became this known thing that a lot of celebrities went there because they wanted to go to the Ren Fair. So you ended up seeing quite a few people out there. It's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yep.
I would like to see Michael Biehn when he was still cool.
I agree with you. I feel like Michael Biehn would be perfect for Tarantino. I would love Tarantino to get a hold of him and do something.
I think he's like the perfect actor to be in the Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
Or
like that
Val
revival
Kilmer.
character. Yeah. But the only thing about Val is I just feel like Val is health-wise. Like
what?
Like I really want to see Val in Top Gun to see how he looks.
Oh yeah, dude, he looked weird in Snowman.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I mean, it's not his fault at all. He's old and he fought cancer, so it's just, it just made me kind of sad seeing him this way. But
yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, Top Gun is going to be interesting with John Hamm, Jennifer Connelly. It's got a great cast, but I'm not I gotta see how well it works. This corny, over the top patriotism stuff with
baby, red, white, and blue.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I don't like the original Top Gun, but I like Tom Cruise a lot. And that's the trailer kind of gets me. So yeah. I think I should move on with my actors.
Okay.
Last honorable mention now. Then we get to the real list, and I got some pictures.
I do have to leave. I gotta leave probably at the 3-hour mark.
Okay, that's fine. Then we are gonna do this quick.
Yeah,
which is fine. Okay.
I gotta go to the fucking grocery store, man. So yeah. Sorry.
My last honorable mention is Nicolas Cage. Can you imagine which role?
Mandy.
No, it's Ben Sanderson in Leaving Las Vegas. That's
such
a
a
strong
tough one.
performance, dude.
That is tough though. That is like you're
I
not
mean, I would
rooting
like to.
for him. You're
It's kind of sad to watch him in that
it's
movie.
sad to watch, yeah. And I had to see that movie 4 times in the theater, and it was tough to get through by the like fourth time, I think.
Oh yeah, I totally understand.
Mm-hmm.
I that's not a movie you want to watch again immediately, you know.
No, I would say if you want to watch a fun Nicolas Cage Vegas movie, you got to go Honeymoon in Vegas with Sarah Jessica Parker and James Caan. It's a really good movie, actually. It's a really good movie.
I feel like there are 3 Nicolas Cage movies I really have to see, which are Raising Arizona,
Yes,
Wild at Heart, and the Scorsese one, Bringing Out the Dead.
Oh, yeah. Underrated.
Those 3 I really want to see.
Underrated. I'd like to watch Bringing Out the Dead again.
Okay, since we're short on time, I think I should, move on to the real list. And my first pick.
That was a lot of honorable mentions.
I know, but I didn't want to. I wanted to talk about all those kind of.
Yeah.
My first 10th place is one I mentioned before is one of the best performances of all time. It's just the reason it's 10th place is because I haven't seen the movie enough times.
Casey Affleck, Manchester by the Sea.
No.
Okay.
It is Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood as Daniel Plainview. I think that's one of the strongest performances ever made, but still. It's been a while since I've seen that movie, and I'm not hugely attached to it. So it's not one of I really can't honestly say that it's one of my favorite protagonists. Because,
I can't see him as a protagonist for this movie though. It's just
Dude, I think you're misunderstanding.
Even though the story
protagonist means the guy whose perspective you're telling the story from. Doesn't matter.
What's the definition of the antagonist then?
That's the the opposition of the protagonist, kind of. Not really the villain. Like for example, in Wolf of Wall Street, DiCaprio is the protagonist, even though he's an asshole, kind of. But Kyle Chandler is the antagonist, even though he's the FBI guy.
Jonah Hill would be the antagonist. No, I'm just fucking.
Okay. All
right. So by that definition, then yeah, I would definitely agree, because me personally, I have a pretty strong connection to this movie, and I'd say it's his if not his best performance, then it is his very close second best performance that he ever had.
For me, one scene that is so good, like my favorite scene of the movie, is the "I abandoned my child" moment. That acting is so good that I only have to see that scene and I almost cry because it's so good.
And it's a well-deserved Oscar too. Well-deserved.
Totally. For me, probably Lewis's best performance ever. Yeah. Even though I like Bill the Butcher a lot, And
it's one of my favorite Anderson movies too, because it's one of the movies of his that I can watch multiple times, even though it's kind of an unsettling movie. There's something
because you're following an asshole.
Yeah, but it still has like this frontier aspect to it of California too, which I really like. So I mean, because it is kind of a period piece in a way, It
is, but is it a Western?
No.
Yeah. No. What time is it? I think 1900.
Yeah, around that. I wouldn't call it a Western. No.
Not really. There's no.
I feel like a Western. You gotta have a gun, man. You gotta have a gun at least.
And Clint Eastwood.
Like I could see where it could be argued that it is a Western, but I would say no.
Nah.
Yeah, I would just say oil movie.
Right. The big genre of oil movies.
Yes.
Alongside with Giant. Okay, next one. 9th place. This is sometimes I feel bad for liking certain movies. Because they get a lot of criticism, and I actually understand why. But for me, 9th place, because I've seen it so many times, and I think it's his best role. Andrew Garfield as Desmond Doss in Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh God!
I know.
I'm just gonna let you have it.
Yeah, Is it wrong to say I kind of feel bad for having this as one of my favorite movies of all time?
Maybe, because
Because
since you've known me that you're starting to dislike Garfield now, it's starting to
no,
click.
I like Garfield a lot, dude. But what I heard, and it's not actually wrong, the message of Hacksaw Ridge, which is war is awful, it's agony.
Mhm.
The message is kind of overshadowed by the fact that the movie is really fun to watch, you know,
It
especially
is.
the action.
It is a good war movie. So,
But is it anti-war enough? And I
uh,
I would say maybe
no.
not, even
Uh,
though I love it,
I think the fact that you got Mel Gibson as the director, I didn't feel the anti-war message in the movie.
I
I
kind of
felt
did.
more anti-gun than I did anti-war.
It's like,
Because the character understands that the war needs to be fought. He's there to help in any way. Like he wanted to go to help, right? Like that's his whole purpose. So
yeah,
the character isn't against war. He's just against using the gun.
true, yeah. But
So
I would like, as much as it hurts to say that, I would say Hacksaw Ridge is my biggest guilty pleasure,
you just
because I
like
can
watching
totally
you
see
like
all the
watching young
criticism.
American boys die. That's why, huh?
Dude, there's something about gore I really like, you know.
Well, especially with war, like it needs to be in your
Dude, this
face
movie
like
is
that.
spectacular.
Yeah.
But I can totally see all the criticism. This movie is still in my top 10 of all time, and I don't care. So, okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling as my 8th place as Officer K in Blade Runner 2049.
Love it. Good pick.
Yeah, totally love it.
Good
Like,
pick right there.
dude, honestly, I think this performance is kind of overlooked because it's very low key again. As
Well,
Gosling
like
it's a Gosling role.
it would have been bigger if more people would have supported the movie, but sadly the movie was
Dude,
left to die in the theater.
It's a
it feels
total
like.
flop, and I hate that.
I do too. It won't be like it'll be a cult classic as time moves
It still
forward.
it already is a cult classic.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of the definition of a cult classic in a way, is movies that kind of failed, but create this buzz about them over time. So,
Dude, for me, this is easily, like, the day it came out, like the day I saw it, I knew this is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
I completely agree with you. Yeah.
Dude, like this.
I knew sitting in the theater when I left that theater that was in my top 10. Like it was one of the best movies I'd ever watched in my life.
Like, how many times do you see a movie and think, dude, this is an instant 10 out of 10? Like, dude,
while you're watching it too.
Right. I don't know, like, it makes me sad how much this movie failed to reach the mass audience. Yeah.
And you're not the biggest sci-fi person, right?
No, but this is, like, this story isn't really sci-fi in a way,
I mean, you
like
could see it as a heavy sci-fi, but also see it at a different light.
Like, even without these sci-fi aspects, this totally works on an emotional level for me.
Well, the characters are so good too. The characters are so well
True.
written. And also too, not a lot of people give him credit, but Harrison Ford was fucking great in Blade Runner 2049.
I wouldn't say it's as good as Al Pacino in The Irishman, but I think that's a role where Harrison Ford finally acted again.
Yeah, because he doesn't act that much. He doesn't really, but I feel like if you compared it to Star Wars, where you can kind of tell he just, all right, I'm here, let's get this over with.
Yeah,
same thing with Indiana Jones.
Die,
Yeah, same thing with Indiana Jones. Let's just get this shit over with. Whereas Blade Runner, there was this feeling that he was almost happy to be back as Deckard. So
yeah,
it
was a good role. But also Jared Leto, who isn't even really a villain in this movie. But he kind of is, but not really.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of flaws for Blade Runner because I think it's a perfect 10, but I do kind of
I think there's no flaw at all.
I feel like I could have used a little bit more Leto because I did like that role by him. He wasn't in it that much.
No, not. Yeah, that's true. For me, this movie is still my top 5 of all time.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. All right, next one. As I look at it, it seems kind of weird that I put it that high because it's been very, very recent.
Mm-hmm.
It is Christian Bale as Ken Miles in Ford v Ferrari. The thing is, for me, his performance makes the movie in a way.
Is he the
Because,
main protagonist?
I think he has more screen time than Matt Damon, yes. And he's like, the story kind of evolves around him. He is the reason why the movie is fun, which means Christian Bale's character is he causes lots of good comedy. Like all the comedy in the movie is basically, Christian Bale, and it works perfectly. And for me, this is a perfect protagonist.
It seems like a great role for him to take too after Hostels and Vice. Like a nice lightened up role.
Yeah, his character is kind of an asshole in a way.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the press and stuff, but his scenes are so funny. And he's so likable because he is kind of the underdog, even though he's crazy good. But nobody, the company they don't want him to race because he's not good with the press and stuff. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have a good reputation. But he's so fun to watch. So yeah, that's why I put him in my top 10. And I hope he's gonna get nominated, but it's tough this year, as I said.
It is tough. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. We don't have much time.
Yeah, 15 minutes. You're good.
Okay, I already said it almost. Okay, Jamie Foxx as Django.
Yeah.
Django Freeman and Django Unchained.
He'd be. I feel like he's lower on their list than I expected. So I'm really curious what the next ones will be. What is this? Number 6?
Number 6.
Number 6, Django. Okay.
Even though once, I recently heard somebody say that actually Christoph Waltz is the lead in that movie, and they're not wrong.
It almost feels like they're sharing, but I still feel like Jamie Foxx is the
especially
star.
because he comes out on top in the end as the one.
Yeah, that I mean, you could argue maybe, but no, I don't even see that as a co-lead. Even if it comes down to screen time, I still feel like that's a Jamie Foxx vehicle.
Yeah, and he deserves to be in my top 10 only for the "I like the way you die" boy scene.
Yeah, and Christoph Waltz could win an Oscar for every movie he's ever with Tarantino. That's something I'd like to see. If Tarantino comes back with a 10th film, then I gotta have Christoph Waltz back.
Yeah, he's gotta have a big ensemble cast. Samuel Jackson and Christoph Waltz need to be.
Yeah,
for me at least, and maybe Brad Pitt even.
Yeah, we don't really need Michael Madsen anymore. I think we can move.
I think it's fine the way he was in Once Upon a Time, where he's only in that one episode of Bounty Law.
Yeah, he's just a bit part.
Yeah, it's not that Michael Madsen is any important, but it's fine.
He's just not as cool as he used to be. That's my thing with Madsen.
No, he's not as cool as Mr.
Blonde. Yeah, Mr. Blonde. He's fucking a badass.
He's also cool in Kill Bill. I like him there.
I like him in Kill Bill, and I also liked him in Hateful Eight. But it's just a far cry from Mr. Blonde.
Yeah, he's getting old.
Yes.
Okay, next one. This one is also, I've seen this very recently. But, recent watchings have a huge impact on me, I feel like. Mm-hmm. Colin Firth as King George VI in...
Oh, The King's Speech.
The King's Speech. Mm-hmm. Because, I think that's one of the best performances.
That movie spoke to you, I think.
Totally. I loved it. If I ever do a supporting actor list, and, Jeffrey Rush would be in it, of course. But Colin Firth, he nails it totally.
It's a really well-deserved Oscar for Colin Firth, and Colin Firth is a guy that deserves an Oscar. I think we rated him, and I rated him because
I gave him a 9.
I think I gave him an 8 maybe because I said it was hard to separate Colin Firth from Colin Firth, which I would like to see. I understand that. Yeah, I would like to see a more versatile. Because he plays that tight-ass Englishman so well, it's hard to get away from it. But I would like to see him in a different role, I think.
Yeah, I can see that. I think you said that Kingsman is probably the most different stuff he's done.
I love him in Kingsman, yeah.
Yeah, but
I think he was in the movie with Mark Strong and Nicole Kidman, too, the Before I Go to Sleep. It was a thriller. I think that's the title of it. That was kind of a cool role for him.
I haven't seen that. I think
But
actually, like,
I was
Yeah.
gonna say I don't know if he'll top the King's Speech though. Yeah.
I think that's one of the once in a lifetime performances.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's definitely not going to disappear from the Oscar scope. Like I think can easily snag another one down the line for best or even supporting. So
Yeah.
it just depends on the role that he gets. Like he won't disappear like Jean Jardin or whatever the fuck his name was from The Artist.
Jean Desjardins.
Which he's actually getting roles again, I noticed.
He was in Monuments Men, I think, which was not a good movie.
Yeah, but I just saw him in another movie and I can't remember what it was, but
Actually, I had Netflix the past month, and The Artist with him was on it, but I don't know, I didn't bother to watch it. I don't know, it just kind of doesn't appeal to me.
You don't want to watch a silent movie in 2019? What?
It is silent?
Yeah, it's a silent movie.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I'll never watch it.
Dude, you know how Hollywood is, man. You know how Hollywood is. They went ape shit over The Artist, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh my god, this is gonna win, and everybody knew, and that's just how it
I
went.
didn't know that actually. Like dude, winning a best actor with no dialogue is kind of strange.
Yeah, that's how good he is.
Next one.
Yeah.
Okay. Fourth place. Yeah.
Booth.
No, he's not a protagonist. Taron Egerton.
I figured you were gonna find a way to make him a protagonist somehow, some way.
Taron Egerton as Elton John in Rocketman.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it's hard for me to not put him in the top 10 because I've seen this movie 5 times.
I really like this movie too. You love
it's a 10 out of 10 movie for me.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. Also,
better than Bohemian Rhapsody
by a landslide.
Because I remember you liked Bohemian Rhapsody quite a bit when it came out, and then.
But I feel like Rocketman is more honest and more unique in the way because it's a musical and you have those music numbers actually performed by Edgerton, which is fantastic. Actually, I think you did that as well. I did my Spotify year recap.
Mm-hmm.
And Taron Egerton was my fifth most heard artist. Like, because I didn't even listen to Elton John. I listened to Taron Egerton. It's great soundtrack and great role.
A lot of people felt that way though about Joaquin Phoenix when he did the Johnny Cash role. Like I remember my grandma and my aunt rushing out, buying the soundtrack for Walk the Line, and playing the Joaquin Phoenix version of the Johnny Cash songs, which was strange, but yeah, I get that. I totally get that.
I'm not sure how big the chances for an Oscar are for Edgerton this year because last year Rami Malek won it for music artist performance.
Yeah, I feel like it came out a little early too.
Yeah, it's not around the Oscar season. And, well, sad, but okay. Next one, top 3. One of the, for me, third place is one of the best performances, like one of the best protagonists for me ever, because in this one I have the rare case that I totally separate the actor from the role.
Okay.
For me, this like the actor and the character are like totally different people. And this role is Al Pacino as Michael Corleone in The Godfather 2 and 1.
Yes.
For me, this is not Al Pacino. This is just Michael Corleone.
I've said it before. It's arguably the greatest performance by an actor on screen ever. Especially in two. But yeah, that number 3. You're giving him number 3. Number 3.
Dude, like
There's something special. There's something special about Michael fucking Corleone, and
I think one of my favorite scenes with him is when he shoots those 2 guys in the diner.
The first movie.
In the first movie, and of course I know it was you, Fredo, all that stuff.
Well, I like one of my favorite scenes is when he closes the door on Kay.
I know you were gonna say
I love that scene. I love the way he looks at her. I love his eyes, and like that performance in 2 is exceptional. It's exceptional. It's a
It
fucking
is, yes.
crime that he did not get that Oscar.
But De Niro did, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Okay.
Not,
But
and
he's not the
Brando.
protagonist.
And Brando.
Yeah, but he didn't accept it, right?
No, because of the
That
crimes
motherf-
against the Native American people, he did not accept his
fucking
Academy Award. Yeah.
All right.
Marlon Brando, that'd be a question, is who will be the next Marlon Brando? Like, what actor is
DiCaprio
going to go off
already
the
is.
rails and fucking
DiCaprio.
crazy? You think DiCaprio's crazy and off
DiCaprio
the
is
rails?
this generation's Marlon Brando.
No.
So totally, it is. He is.
No, he's not going to go off the rails.
Hmm.
Because Marlon Brando, you know, he didn't do shit for a long time.
Oh wait. Okay, yeah, if you can, yeah, okay, I can see that.
Marlon Brando's second half was terrible. Fucking terrible.
That's true. Actually, like, it's gonna be interesting how we rate him when we do. Yeah.
Like, I love his performance in Apocalypse Now, but when you hear the story behind that and what they had to do, like, it's fucking pathetic. Like, that guy, I really don't have a lot of respect for Marlon Brando.
No, he doesn't seem like the nicest guy.
He's just one of those jerk-offs that thought he was too fucking great. And it's like, dude, I've seen a lot of performances better than you. And even in your arguably your best performance in Godfather, still overshadowed by your pick here, Michael Corleone. So
yeah. Okay, I think we can go over my second place very quickly.
okay.
It's Leonardo DiCaprio as Rick Dalton.
Come on, get out of here,
dude! I love that guy.
Oh.
Yeah, right. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm done, dude.
Just remember, I respect you so much as a film buff that I had to choose my words carefully when I talked about Hollywood, because I did
but you still crushed my soul.
I mean, I had to convey what I felt about the movie, and I knew.
I'm not mad. It's fine. It's just it's still kind of sad.
I like the fact that we have such a big movie to disagree on. Like, it's kind of nice that.
No, I
didn't set it up like this. By the way, I didn't like. I'm sitting there watching the movie, just wanting to like it, but it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that we disagree, but why on my favorite movie? You know, it's kind of sad. But
my prediction is it's not going to stay your favorite movie, because in the short time that I've known you, I think your favorite movie has changed like 3 times. So.
Yeah.
I mean, this could change by next year.
I'm honestly, I gotta admit, I'm easily hyped. You know. So.
Yeah, but I like that you stay current though too. So.
Yeah. Speaking of
because I gotta ask, where does Manchester by the Sea rate at this point in your movie's career? Because when I met you, it was number 1.
3 or 2. I'm not sure. Okay. Because, like, you know, it's Hollywood, Rocketman, and Manchester by the Sea, and then Godfather 2 and Blade Runner. I'm not sure. You know, it's like making an order in a list of your favorite movies is kind of hard.
It's tough because you like so much about certain films, and you can't just put
also like. I mean, for me, it's certain that Hollywood is my favorite. But if you just take Rocketman and Manchester by the Sea, those are so different that, you know, how am I to really say? Like in some situations, I like, or in some aspects, I like Hollywood Rocketman more than Manchester, but also the other way around. You know,
your top 5 is very eclectic too. It's good. It's not just one genre. You know.
Yeah, true.
Like, my favorites is Goodfellas, Godfather, and fucking Scarface. That's all. That's all you need.
Right. Okay, my favorite performance. I think this might. Okay, actually, like you said that I change my favorite movie a lot, but my favorite performance in the protagonist is actually Casey Affleck as Lee Chandler in Manchester by the Sea, and this didn't change.
That didn't change. You're right. Yeah.
For 3 years or something. Yeah.
That role touched you to your soul, it seems like.
Yeah. I only have to look Casey Affleck in the eyes, and, you know, and I'm sold.
To think how much better Casey Affleck is than Ben is crazy.
But yeah, because for Ben Affleck, I could never see him winning an Oscar for leading role.
For acting,
no.
He's turned in some good roles. You've seen him, like The Town was good.
But come on, nothing is as close as, you know, close to Manchester by the Sea.
Well, even despite like Manchester by the Sea, like his performance in Interstellar, his performance in
Gone Baby Gone.
Gone Baby Gone. Thank you. Like he has this emotion on his face that I don't know if, because he even kind of does that in The Old Man and the Gun. But The Old Man and the Gun, it's a lot more fun of a role, and I really like that because he was charming. He was very charming in the role. So I definitely recommend that one to you.
Yeah, it's on my list. So yeah,
because I feel like this actor, you're gonna watch everything that if you see Casey Affleck in. It's definitely on your list.
I think Manchester by the Sea is my favorite drama of all time because it's so real in a way. Because not everything turns out to be good.
No,
like it's not happy ending and stuff, and I kind of like that, even though it's kind of sad.
It works out. It's not a happy ending, but it works out because I like the fact that both of them, the main characters, him and Lucas Hedges, like they have their own paths, and I like the fact that they both take them.
Yeah, and like Affleck, his character, he accepts kind of that he can't, he can't. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm not good with words.
Yeah, because for me, I was kind of indifferent about the film itself. I don't really like Michelle Williams. I just don't. I don't know why. Love Kyle Chandler, but the driving force behind the movie was Casey Affleck. Because if you take Casey Affleck out of that movie, I don't think I would have liked the movie. Like he definitely brings that character to life. And my favorite scene in the movie is when he has to identify the body.
Yeah, actually, like I heard that people said that they didn't even like they were like, does this guy even act? Because I think a lot of people have problems with low key performances.
It's reserved. It's very reserved.
Also, but if I've watched this a few times, and if you pay close attention to how Affleck, how he acts, when they tell, like when he's in the hospital, it's not that he's crying or anything, but like his sadness, or what you want to call it, his grief, kind of, he doesn't know where to put his hands and stuff. It's like really, it's very subtle, but if you notice it, it's amazing. And it feels really authentic because like later on you really you know why he is that way, and I think that is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I love that fucking movie.
I actually wouldn't mind watching it again. I wouldn't mind giving it a second view.
Yeah, I would watch it again as well. Actually, I should, because it's been a while, like a year or two.
Yeah. Huh.
Okay.
So there's your protagonist.
Yeah. Also, I think this is a nice way to end this show for today.
Yeah, I mean, in a recap of the show, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sucked. The Irishman was great. Everybody's happy.
Fuck you.
I honestly thought you were gonna get me for Irishman. You're like, you know what, dude? The Irishman, it sucked. All right,
dude. Come on. How can, like, dude?
Yeah, I mean,
if you're say that I didn't like the Irishman,
right? Crazy. And I did pull the aspects of Hollywood that I did like, and I will say that it just came down to story and character for me. That's the thing, because I can't complain about the shots. You know what I mean? I can't complain about the cinematography. I can't complain about the music. I can't complain about the acting. The acting was top notch. It's just that it was. Dude,
I can see your point with the story, but for me, this movie is not really about story. It's for me, it's about the experience itself, because the whole feeling and the atmosphere of that movie, it's just all coming together perfectly for me. Even just. I just need to see DiCaprio walking down this western town, and I'm sold. I love that.
I would much rather have seen him in a different role.
Okay.
And now we're gonna end it.
Can we just never bring up Once Upon a Time in Hollywood again?
No, I think it's gonna make a good talking point.
Yeah, but it will infuriate me. So.
Oh, you'll be fine. I have to accept this shit with Goodfellas and you, so.
Oh yeah, actually, I think the Irish.
I think you're absolutely crazy when it comes to Goodfellas. So I don't fault you. I just think it's because you're too young. Nah, I honestly get that Irishman was better than Goodfellas feel. I probably wouldn't say that personally for me, because Goodfellas is so nostalgic for me. But The Irishman, like I said, just comes in and captures that Scorsese fucking feel perfectly.
Maybe for me, it's because I think that Frank Sheeran is way more. I connect more to Frank Sheeran than to Ray Liotta.
Yeah, because Henry Hill's a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a piece of shit.
I mean, dude, Frank Sheeran is too, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's something to think about. His protagonists are very complicated people, you know.
De Niro's?
No, I mean, just Scorsese in general.
Yeah.
Like Henry Hill, then you had Lefty. Ace Rothstein, that was his name, and Casino.
Howard Hughes.
Howard Hughes is very conflicted, but
I mean, I think a good protagonist has to be that way.
Yeah, that would
like,
be in my top 10. That would be in my top 10. Yeah.
I wouldn't pick somebody like Hugh Jackman in The Greatest Showman as my favorite protagonist, because there's like no two sides to him. Like nobody likes I don't appreciate just the protagonist who's like, totally good in all ways. I think actually it's a weak point of Christoph Waltz in Django Unchained that he's totally perfect. Kind of.
Totally perfect.
It doesn't bother me, but like his character is almost flawless.
It really is, and I'm still dumbfounded by Christoph Waltz because I feel like he is so good. And I never saw him before Inglourious Bastards, and he just shows up.
Nobody.
And he continues to deliver too in the roles that I see him in, but nothing like the Tarantino roles that he's had. And honestly, it's really weird for me because I don't know which one I like better, the Nazi or his character as the dentist, because I really, really love him in Django so much because he. I mean, obviously that's a likable character compared to the Nazi that he played. Even though probably the greatest Nazi, we're ever going to see on screen, I bet. Yeah.
I mean, he was on my first place on favorite villains. So.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something about a charming villain that's just fucking scary shitless,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good place to end it. I got to go to the grocery store. So
yeah, have fun. Next time, Marriage Story, I guess.
Yeah, bro.
I'll watch it tonight.
Have a good week. It was really good to talk to you.
You too. Yeah.
Take care, homie.
And all you people out there, see you next time. Hopefully.
Episode 10.
Right.
All right, man. I'll see you then.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for episode 9 of Stairway to Cinema. We covered The Irishman. We covered a little bit of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Hope everybody has a good day. And thank you so much for the sub there from Lady Al. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. So everybody have a good week, and we will be back episode 10 next week with Marriage Story. All right, have a good week.